Duran does get held up there behind Indestroza. He's got the inside line, and look at that. That was decisive and clinical for Drummond.
IRyS, it's IRyS from hololiveEnglish Promise. Hello. Today we're here to watch the World Series. Thank you so much, PlayStation, for sponsoring me and this stream. Thank you. Isho. Hello, IRyS. How are you guys doing? Right now, the footage that's playing is, I'm pretty sure, from not the World Championship. This is from like a few weeks ago. Yeah. Round 3, yeah. Isho. Let me just wait a sec. So right now we're waiting, I think like 5 minutes in. Yes. Gran Turismo 7. Woo! This is actually my first like mirror stream. Like mirror watch-along stream. Thank you so much. I got permissions to mirror the audio and everything as well. I'm really happy. Thank you so much. Asia. Yes. Just to keep people from not being confused. Today we are watching the Nations Cup, not the Manufacturers Cup that happened yesterday. Yes. Asia. So let me just explain briefly that the Nations Cup is a cup where it's basically like the main, like the world championship, where 12 elite drivers, they compete individually, each representing their own country. Yes. And they are chosen after 3 race rounds. Yes, this is one of them, I'm pretty sure. And these are the finals. Yes. Yay. It was really hard to choose which one I was gonna watch. I kind of also wanted to watch Manufacturers Cup. But then I realized that I didn't have a choice because, yeah, I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't have done Manufacturers Cup. Isha. Yeah. And for those who don't know what Gran Turismo is a racing simulator game. It looks really realistic, man. Look at it. I wonder if Bonelli is here. I'm pretty sure Bonelli is. Oh, never mind. Wait, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Bonelli is here. Bonelli was there yesterday, right? Maybe not, though. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Wait.日本上がってきた。これはちなみにあれですよ。過去のそのチャンピオンシップじゃない方の予選ではないけど前のラウンドの映像でございます。Oh yeah, how's the volume, by the way? Is the audio a bit low? Should I raise it a bit more? Oh, wait. A bit low? Okay. Let me get a little bit louder. It's just, right now it's recap, so I lowered it a bit, so it's easier to, you know. This is also my first time streaming from like a browser source. I think it should be fine. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see speed. Yo, that overtake.
Hit into the side there as well by killing Dumont on the exit of the corner, so the Frenchman's race has really come undone, and you would imagine...
Wait, what are the... So there's 12 racers, so that means there should be 12 countries, right? Oh yeah, this World Finals is happening in Fukuoka! I've never been to Fukuoka.
World Series 3 in the Nations Cup here in Los Angeles ahead of Jose Serrano. It's a Spanish one too.
Ooh, Spain, it is Spain. So, ロサンゼルスのリキャップです。過去映像ですね。Oh, they even got the fireworks going on. This is so hype. So we're gonna be watching this whole tournament today, yeah! Wonder how long it is. I was told maybe like around like 2 hours, but it might be longer. I think there's a good chance it's gonna be longer. Hey, what time is it? It's like, Almost 3 here. Yeah, that's not a bad time. So, and also, let me explain really quickly that the Gran Turismo World Series is an annual Gran Turismo competition. The world's fastest drivers all over the world compete in high stakes. Yes, it's virtual races that celebrate skill. Yes, driving skill, strategy, and the spirit of motorsports. Yes. Is the video quality a bit low? Really? I just browser sourced this and it looks fine to me on my side, but oh, we're starting countdown. Christmas hats. Oh yeah, Christmas is pretty much here. I forget about that. Oh. God, these cars look so cool. Look at them go. Let me just say that racing simulator or like driving simulator games that are realistic like this one, really hard to play. I don't know how people do it.
Grand finals of the Nations Cup for the Gran Turismo World Series 2025.
Woo!
My name's Jules Hardy, and I'm joined here in Japan by the wonderful Sasha, my beautiful co-host for today.
Oh my god, look at that trophy.
Konnichiwa!
Konnichiwa!
I can't hear them.
It's hard with controller. Yeah, no, I think you need a wheel.
Konnichiwa!
Louder!
I remember trying with controller.
Yeah,
and-
welcome to Japan,
yeah.
everybody, and thank you so much for watching. 皆さんご覧いただいて本当にありがとうございます。そしてお越しいただいた皆さんもありがとうございます。グランツーリスモワールドファイナルついにこの福
Thank you
岡
for
で
being here today. Yes.
ネーションズカップを迎えることになりました。Yeah.
It's going to be... We've got the best sim races in the world. I mean, there's
Right.
no other way to put it. This is going to be some incredible...
Gotta be the
races.
best, yeah.
It's a culmination of so many
I love how
hours of
the
hard work for
seats
these
are like
drivers.
aligned
So
behind them.
please show them your support.
ねもう朝にですね今日はもう世界のベストのシミュレーターたちがです
You can see
ね
their
努力の結晶を見せてくれると
racing
いうことで
in real time.
大きなリスペクトをね拍手と声援で見せていただきたいと思います。大丈夫ですか
Yeah!
Ready to show respect.
So ready!
We love it.
Oh, this
Well,
guy's
I do
bilingual.
have a question for you out there, which is, you know, you in the audience or you at home, do you think you know our drivers?
さあちょっとここにいる皆さんとそしてご覧いただいている
Oh, we're
皆さ
gonna
んにもです
introduce the
ね
drivers?
ちょっと聞いてみたいんですが皆さんはここに来るドライバーのことを知ってますか
Let's find out.
さあチェックしましょう
Let's find
Let's look at
out!
the video.
His English is really
Don't
good.
forget
Yeah, no.
that you can get involved with the World Series inside Gran Turismo 7 with the bonus campaign. Just click on the Champions campaign banner on the GT7 World map, and that's going to give you the chance to win 1 million credits for each of the Nations Cup and
Yes.
the Manufacturers Cup.
You
by
can check it out in
predicting
game as
who's gonna
well.
Win. Just think of all the stuff you could buy
And
with that.
possibly win
Don't
all these
forget
credits.
You can enter and vote right up until the start of each grand final. Good luck. Watch the World Series broadcast through your GT7 game, and you'll unlock
can watch
some
through the
special
game as well,
in-game
yes.
rewards through the viewers campaign.
So if you have
Watch the
if you have an
Nations
account,
Cup live stream, and you could win a
You
Gran
can also watch it
Turismo
from the game.
F3500B. Everyone likes free stuff, myself included. And here's your chance to grab some.
yeah.
Please welcome on stage Park Jun, Vice President of N Management Group Hyundai Motor Company, Hyundai Motor Company N Management Group Vice President のパク・ジュンさんです。Welcome.
皆様こんにちは。
Man, everyone's Japanese is
お
good.
会いできて光栄です。
4個前な。
私はヒョンデ N ブレンド集中常務パク・ジュンです。よろしくお願いいたします。私の日本語はここまでです。すみません。
His
Wonderful
Japanese
Japanese
ends
音で
there.
拍手を送ってくださ
But
い。
it
素晴らし
sounds
い日本語で
good.
した。そしてステージには山内和則さんにもお越しいただいております。And 和則山内 is with us on stage. さあまずはですねこのジュンさんにですね、この、10周年という、ヒョンデの N ブランド、その記念ということにもなるわけですけれども、ちょっとその辺についても聞いてみたいと思います。So,
Tenth
Jun,
anniversary.
could you tell us about the Hyundai N brand 10th anniversary?
Okay, before I talk about the Hyundai N's 10th anniversary, I would like to talk about Gran Turismo. I love cars, And since I was young, I played Gran Turismo. Back in 1997, when I first played Gran Turismo, I was shocked, and I played again and again and again. And right now, my sons are playing Gran Turismo all the time. And that's how...
It runs in the family.
That shows how great Gran Turismo is.
私は97年に初めてグランツーリスモをね、プレイしたわけですが、本当にショッキングなぐらい、もう本当楽しかったわけですけれども、今はですね、私の息子たちがですね、もう毎日のようにプレイしているんですが、それがいかに、グランツーリスモがですね、まあ影響力が大きいか、そして大きい存在かというのをね、まさに証明していると思います。
Very important.
This year marks the 10th anniversary of Hyundai N. And also it means the 10th anniversary of great collaboration with the Polyphony Gran Turismo, which began with the Hyundai N 2025 Vision Gran Turismo when we firstly launched N as a brand back in 2015 at the Frankfurt Motor Show.
Whenever I see these race cars, though, I always think, oh my God, they're so like, how do you say this? Like low to the floor. I can just imagine how much like, what do you call that, vibration or how bumpy it is.
10 years
It's
old,
so the low center of gravity, yeah.
10年前なんでちょっと若いですね。はい。
Over the past decade, Hyundai N has achieved a lot of great success in WRC, TCR World Tour, Nürburgring 24 race, and also in the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. We
I'm pretty sure it's
a lot
faster
of
that way
high
too.
performance cars like i30N and Elantra
less, you
N.
know.
And now we are setting the standard of EV high performance like Ioniq 5N and Ioniq 6N.
Less air resistance.
日本ではですね、N シリーズでですね、様々な成功を収めてきたんですね。WRC、TCR、そしてニュルブルクリンク24時間レース、さらにパイクスピークのですね、ヒルクライム、そしてですね、いろんなハイパフォーマンスな車も、皆様にご紹介してまいりました。i30N とか、
More aerodynamic, yes, that's the word.
そして今はですね、EV でも、新しいですね、スタンダードをまさに築いているというところで、それが Ioniq 5N、そして Ioniq 6N ということになるわけなんですね。はい。ということで本当に素晴らしいんですが、Congratulations。
Thank you。
はい。ね、では山口さんね、本当にこの写真を見るとですね、いろんな思い出もまた蘇ってくると思うんですが、
race cars look in general.
So looking back to these photos, you will, you know, there are lots of memories, I'm sure. Please tell us about your experience collaborating with Hyundai N brand. N ブランドとのですね、Hyundai とのコラボレーションをちょっと振り返ってみていかがでしょうか。
はい、先ほどね、お話があった通り、2015年に僕ら初めて、Hyundai の方とビジョングランツーリスモを作って、そこがHyundaiのスポーツライン N ブランドのスタート地点だったわけですよね。はい、で、以来10年経ってで N ブランドもすごく定着しましたし。Hyundai という自動車メーカーも、世界で第3位の自動車メーカーになってなんかそういう旅路にお付き合いできたっていうのはすごく光栄なことだなと思っています。
The 10 years ago that was the beginning of the collaboration, but also beginning of the N. And since then, N became a big brand, and also not only N, but Hyundai became the third largest car company in the world. So it's really an honor to join the journey.
A whole
together.
Decade. Most businesses don't last 10 years.
You want to add something,
right?
Yeah, it's been great working together with the Polyphony Digital in the past 10 years. And looking ahead, we are preparing exciting collaboration with the Gran Turismo for the next decade and beyond. On top of adding new cafe menu and also museum content, the Elantra and TCR will be available in the next DLC. Right here, you can see maybe. It's an honor to bring one of the most dominant touring car into. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. It's an honor to bring one of the most dominant touring race car into Gran Turismo. We hope this gives more people more opportunity to drive a professional touring car in an easier way. And actually,
you don't have to buy the car.
Outside,
you don't have to own the car. You can just drive it. You can drive it in the game.
Race this year, and please stop by and check it out.
はい、ポリフォニーとですね、そしてグランツーリスモと10年やってきたわけですが、次の10年もさらに発展的にいろんなコラボレーションをしたいというふうに思っています。その始まりとしてですね、新しいカフェメニュー、そしてミュージアムのコンテンツももちろんですけれども、さらにですね、次の DLC では、このグランツーリスモ7にですね、ランドの NTCR をですね、
shouldering the cost if you crash the car
ということになるわけなんですけれども、これはですね、まさに今年のスーパー耐久24時間レースの勝者でもあるわけですけれども、最もですね活躍をしている、成功しているツーリングカーをですね、グランツーリスモで皆様に気軽にというか、楽しく乗っていただく、そんなきっかけにもなると思うんです。今日はね、外に展示もしてあるんで、ここの会場にいらっしゃる皆様見ていただければ嬉しいなというふうに思っていますということなんですね。いや、本当に楽しみな発表なんです。It's really exciting. And talking about the next decade is a little bit far away. Do you have anything to add for next year?
There's no drifting anymore.
I have a bunch of things that I want to say, but I cannot say anything.
When I first started, I was like, okay, I'm gonna drift my way to victory. I know. Nothing. Not a thing here. I watched way too much initial D. More like a lot of my knowledge comes from that. So yeah.
来年についてはですね、もうちょっと喋りたいこともあるんですが、まだ言えないことがたくさんあるので、ポリフォニーとともにですね、そして山内さんとともにいろんなことを考えてますので、楽しみにして、そしてフォローを忘れないようにしていただきたいというふうにおっしゃっていますね。So anything you wanna add, 山内さん？山内さん何か付け加えることは？
はい、付け加えることはありません。確かに準備しております。
They are ready. They are so ready.
I cannot add anything, but we are preparing.
Yeah.
Period. All right. ということで非常に楽しみでございます。All right. Back to you, Jules.
Oh, amazing stuff. Lovely to hear from the Hyundai family. You've been involved in GT almost, well, no, longer, just a little
I like
bit
this
longer
camera angle.
And having been
Jules
involved
standing in a
Gran
really
Turismo
good
for,
position.
It's been about 8 years now. I know that being in the top 3, going into the Nations Cup, doesn't really mean
I like how the
anything,
players are
because it
sitting
all
on that couch,
changed
just
in one
reclining.
race. Right, now if you've missed out on all of the excitement up until this point,
Like,
why don't
what
you
are
take
they
a
gonna
quick
call
look
us?
at the season recap.
A very good evening and welcome for Gran Turismo World Series.
Look comfy.
It's time before the Nations Cup.
They look very comfy.
And let's introduce you to our 12 competitors who are here
良さそうな椅子に座って。
2025 is the 8th year of the Gran Turismo World Series. And
Oh,
we kicked off in
8
round
years.
1 in the United Kingdom. And London did not disappoint, and we were treated to some incredibly tight racing.
As we come into the first corner, Serrano defends Ura, looking for the outside
Look at
line.
that
That's going to be
concentration.
brave. Can he make it stick on Serrano? He slides. Is that moment over? But Jose Serrano pulls a blinder and
I wonder
wins
how
the
much it
grand
costs
final
for
of the Nations Cup here in London.
to get like a very
Round 2 took us to Berlin, Germany,
realistic
where we
wheel
had some
setup.
exciting battles. And we also saw the start of the Spanish dominance.
Serrano leads, but Ura's got the inside line here on Kaidebrun in the middle sector. Can he make it stick through into the left-hander? He can! And Gallo's there as well. De Bruyne loses 2 places.
I'm starting to think
Jose
that-
Serrano makes it 2 wins from 2 races in
Whoa.
the Nations Cup here in Berlin. What a performance from the Spaniard.
Serrano being so strong.
Round 3 in Los Angeles was a bit of a banger as Paul Ura managed to stop Serrano going 3 for 3 and also got the sweet taste of vindication for his little bit of a slip-up in Berlin.
In we go to the first turn. Ura on the inside. Knows a spot over.
We got
Paul
Serrano
Ura.
this
He
year
comes
too.
across the timing line to take a commanding victory. Paul Ura wins World Series 3 in the Nations Cup in LA.
And so here we are at the World Finals in beautiful Fukuoka, where anything
Fukuoka.
can and probably will happen.
Must be really cold today.
さあそれではネーションズカップのドライバーの皆さんの登場です。大きな拍手で出迎えてください。 Let's meet the drivers of the Nations Cup.
Woo!
From Canada, Samuel Cardinal.
Canada! I feel the love already.
From Brazil, Adriano Carrasa.
Brazil! Carraza! かっこいい名前やな。
From France, Thomas Labutali.
French! Apparently he gets on the podium very often. Very strong
From
contestant.
Chile, Angel Inostroza.
Oh, that's how you pronounce his name. I thought it was Angel. Angel!
From
The Porsche driver.
Australia, Guy Barbara.
Is he calling his... What? Let me get my slipper, my shoe.
And from the Netherlands, Sky De Bruyne.
Why have I seen that pose before?
And from Japan, Nippon, Takuma Sasaki.
He's watching you. Sasaki-san is watching you. 2 wins. Oh my god, that win ratio. 推し活いしてる人いるね。
From France, Scalia
Spider-Man.
Drummond.
Oh, so there's like more than one representative for like each country. I see, I see. Some countries have more than one representative. Gotcha.
And from Japan, Nippon, 2020 and 2024 champion,
I can't hear you.
Takuma Miyazono.
Miyazono. Oh, that win. Oh my god. 2-time Manufacturers Cup champion. What? Let's go.
From Italy, the 2021 champion, Valerio Gallo.
Yo, they're all like people who've won in the past. みんな強そう。っていうかかっこいいんだけど普通に。
From Spain, 2023 champion, Paul Ura.
2023 champion. That's only like 2 years ago.
And also the 2023 champion from Spain,
Apparently had a very strong performance in LA.
Serrano.
Serrano! Just saw him in the trailer.
So では国歌の演奏です。
Get all that
ご起立ください。Please
You know,
rise
of
for
them
the national
introducing
anthem
themselves.
of Japan.
Very soothing anthem. You don't get the opportunity to hear an anthem very much often. Shortest anthem too, really? You know the lyrics? So I was saying like
Oh, hey, so I don't know why.
whenever they like get that footage of them introducing themselves and posing,
High five.
I feel that because
Alright.
whenever you do stuff like that, you're just like, oh,
Right,
what the
okay,
hell do
so
I do?
before
What
we
the hell
kind
do
of
I
get
do?
into it all,
Yeah.
like it's very,
And then you have like other people going before you, and then they do the pose that you were thinking of doing, and you're just like, oh shoot, they did the pose I was thinking of doing. What am I gonna do
Yeah.
now?
本当にね、各ドライバーのポイント差がちっちゃいので、昨日
Well, you know
も
what?
逆転がありましたけど
I'm gonna tell them to go
何が
quiet and
起き
do
る
the
か
finger.
わからない。So what?
Do
where
the
should
finger in
we
front of my
focus
mouth. You know, I can just imagine that.
I don't know. Like it really comes down to what happens on this stage. I
Just
mean, I
wing
don't
it.
want to discount all the other rounds. Obviously, they are
Right.
very, very important.
Right.
But it's the pressure. Like this
Yeah.
is the last chance saloon. This
Exactly.
they're going to be a bit more aggressive. You know, maybe Serrano won't hold off just because it's Paul. You know, you just don't know. I was going to say also, do you think obviously our Japanese drivers? Obviously, we have the
Serrano
Japanese
is
audience here. Is it going to
absolutely
help or hinder them? What do you
dominating.
think?
Of course I think they will. さあ、日本のドライバーもね
This season.
参加してますけ
But
ど、
we'll see.
日本のこの福岡のお客さんは応援はより一段してくれるんでしょうか。どうでしょう。
Yeah!
They will.
It's helping.
Yeah.
It's going to help. I
It's
think.
tailwind. It's tailwind.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I think it's time that we get these guys on the track. But just before we do that,
Yeah.
let's take a quick look at the competition format.
Who are you guys rooting for?
Features the best
Oh, okay,
12
9
drivers
countries.
in the world from the 2025 online qualifiers. 9 countries are participating in the Nations Cup World Series this season. Spain, France, and Japan are the most represented countries with 2 drivers each.
They're just that strong.
Today, the time trial session sets the grid for race 1. Across races 1 and 2, points are rewarded, and each result sets the grid for the next race.
How many races are there?
In the grand final, all drivers compete for double points.
Ooh.
Final chance to
And then-
shake up the leaderboard.
And the
In
end
the
matters
end,
most.
only one driver will be crowned the Nations Cup champion.
3 races?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, is it me? Yeah. Okay. 宮園選手です。大きな拍手。宮園 on stage.
人気ありそうめっちゃ。
Fans, a lot of fans.
Yeah.
Seems really popular.
So I'm sure that
He's a
will
super
help.
veteran.
We just had a tailwind here. So will that help him? Let me ask. 地元です。応援すごいです。ね、日本選手応援してる皆さんどうですか？
He's from Fukuoka too.
助けになりますか？
もちろん昨日はなんというか変にお腹痛かったんですけど今日はいい感じのプレッシャーかかっているので
4th place
きっと
overall.
皆さんにいいレースがお見せできると思います。
That's like a very
Yesterday-
good. That's a very good position to start
And a
rising
stomachache.
from.
In a bad way.
Oh, okay.
But today I'm nervous in a good way.
Okay.
So
good,
I'm
good.
confident for today.
Okay,
I do
this
like
is
his
good.
gloves
And
too.
obviously in
Those
Los
are some really
Angeles,
cool
you were
looking gloves.
Very aggressive. Are we going to do this today, we think?
LA ではものすごいアグレッシブだったわけですけど、今日はどうしましょう？
今日は
4位はいい
やはり
順位だぞ
1年間の最後の
これから上がるのにちょうどいい
周りもかなりアグレッシブだと思うのでしっかり周りを見ながら、アクシデントに巻き込まれないように、レースをやっていくことを目標に進めていければ
Avoid
なと思ってます。
crashes and
So it's a
accidents.
fun race,
Yes.
so everybody would be aggressive. So I might check,
Be aggressive.
look around the other drivers, what the other drivers do, and not be involved in a crash, and just go to the end.
Classic Miyazono. Okay, one final question. Takuma, you've been with us for a really long time in Gran Turismo World Series. How has the level of competition improved over the years, you think?
長年ずっとね、you know already. He doesn't need a translation.
He doesn't need
Anyway,
translation.
これまでね、長年もうずっとグランツーリスモ
But
を
I'm
戦ってきたわけですけど、
sorry for cutting it. I know you don't need translation, but for the audience, yes.
もう毎年上がってきてて僕はもう8年間ずっと出てるんですけど多分今年が一番レベル高いと思いますし
Every
僕も
year,
かなりいい年な
competition
の
gets
で
harder
正直なかなか厳しい状況ではあるんですけどやは
as these
り去
tournaments
年のチャンピ
happen
オンと
every
して、
single year.
情けなところは見せられないので
And this
最
year
後
is
は
the
笑って
hardest.
終えられるように頑張りま
Everyone's
す。
just
I'm in the competition for
leveling
8
up their
years,
skill level.
Yep.
and definitely this year is the highest level. And I'm getting a little bit older, so I might, I have to be confident, but I'll do everything that I can.
But
as
I probably don't need to
defending
translate
champion.
because this
All
dude's
right,
right
I
here.
think it's time that we put this nervous energy that's on this stage into something good. Let's give them all a big one round of applause before they start, and we'll throw it back up to Tom and Jimmy.
大きな拍手をお送りください。
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Jules and Sasha. Let's have a look at the points rankings then for
Oh,
3 rounds
point
into where we
rankings.
are
Oh,
now
Serrano
ahead of the
being
World Finals.
first.
Jose Serrano leads it. You can see a 5-point swing he has over his compatriot Paul Euro, who was the winner last time out in Los Angeles. Valerio Gallo up there as well. Takuma Miyazono.
Yo, Spain is so strong. What?
As well. 4 drivers yet to score though so far in 2025. Surely they're going to be able to get some points here today, but are they going to be able to challenge?
Italy's
for more
also doing their
positions than that?
best.
Here is your driver lineup. We've had the same 12 over the course of the season so far. And Jimmy, the momentum at the top of the table is very much with the 2 Spaniards.
Yeah, it's really hard to argue against that, really. Serrano and Paul
I didn't know
are both
Australia was
looking really
Oceania.
strong over practice and qualifying. And we know these guys, they know how to win races. It sounds silly, but of course, if you're not used to that pressure, it can really go against
That's
you.
because
Of course,
I always
you
don't know
can't
where
count out
Australia is,
people like
but yeah.
Miyazono,
Oh.
like Gallo, both past champions, all very much capable of doing it again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, in terms of
The
the
more I
format
learn.
for tonight, we've got 2 races for you. Then we've got a grand final as well. Let's have a look at the first
3
set of
races, okay.
circumstances for the drivers, because of course, being the Nations Cup, we can throw anything at these guys.
Tire selection
And
is
we've got the
soft.
brand new Circuit Gilles Villeneuve,
Sorry,
part
chat,
of
what
the
does that
Spec 3
mean?
update that came to Gran Turismo 7 earlier on this month. In the
One
Gran
lap
Turismo
time attack.
F3 500B, essentially a 90s formula car.
And with a little bit of a twist, this has an engine
The
swap.
Gilles Villeneuve. Sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce these words.
Our competitors have to try
Circuit.
and tame this car for qualifying.
Oh,
around
look at
the
this
Montreal
perspective.
circuit. It was
Oh,
Cardinal
oh,
who
it looks
set
so
the early
fast.
pace in his Canadian liveried F3500 there, doing a 115.2. Carrazzo early on making his one mistake into the wall of champions. I mean, that's one way to become a champion, I guess.
Yeah, a bit disappointed there was Adriano Carrazza.
I feel like time attacks are hard because you don't see your opponents.
Way round that
I think in a lot of them.
Across the line, being the last of the qualifiers so far. This is kind of Brun. He's always been a bit of a hot lap specialist, and he was on.
So you kind of don't have anyone to like
on the track at this
try
point.
to beat at that moment,
and wasn't enough to better everybody else.
except for like a timer number that you aim for.
All eyes on Kylian Drummond, the flying Frenchman. Will he be able to depose Kai de Brun's quickest time? Not quite, sadly. Only third best for him.
And interesting, of course, Takumi Iizono, someone we tend to expect to be quite a sharp end.
Time attack is placement, no?
Base cars going wide down, just touching the grass. I'm just slowing him down slightly on the way to
you
the line.
You just have to try your best, yeah. There's a lot of pressure.
Position for Takumi Iizono, but then dethroned slightly by a pole Euro. And that was Jose Serrano, our current points leader. What can he do? Very important qualifying session for the Spanish driver. Looking good through the first two sectors, but that 15-2 by Kai de Brun, mighty, and just proving to be slightly too much for Serrano, who slots in third position. Kai de Brun there.
I like how they're watching their own.
Weekend, isn't it?
This might be from a past tournament, actually.
It certainly is. Not the first time that we've seen the Dutchman on pole position. So confirmation of the results from qualifying and indeed how the starting grid will line up. Kai de Brun is on pole then with Samuel Cardinal alongside him on the front row. Then it's Serrano, Drummond, Jura, and Miyazono, Labutale, and Gallo. Then Sasaki, Barbara, Inestrosa, and then of course Karatza, who we saw biffing it into the barrier on his one and only
qualifying results.
Okay. Bitterly disappointed was Adriano Karatza there. No surprise about that at all. Now, a new feature, of course, with
the small difference between them. It's insane.
Feature. So basically, we can
it would be really different if they were racing together, because you know, because they're so close to the route is so similar.
Line through the corners here, Jimmy. But what are you picking out from this?
同じじゃんもうこれ。本
当
に若干の違いじゃん。
with the blue line and Sam there.
Oh, look at how much those lines are intersecting each other,
getting the car out
overlapping each other.
And it was only 500ths of a second the gap at the end.
The gap is so small.
You see there through the last chicane again. No difference whatsoever. It was all done in that middle sector. So it just goes to show around here, even the smallest little margins can come into play.
Certainly can. As you can see, the first
ideal racing line,
races here tonight about to get underway.
I can imagine that
is
the ideal racing line.
Gilles Villeneuve for race 1 of the Nations Cup. An amazing venue we have here in Fukuoka, the venue for the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series World Final. Some brilliant cars on display as well. The Ford GT there. We saw a Porsche 911, Mazda 787B though. That's your pick of the bunch.
Everyone loves Porsche.
When I saw that thing, amazing to have that here. And of course, having our live audience here as well adds a little something special, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Well, let's have a closer look, shall we, at the
changes of the cars you drive. Oh, really?
So, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for race 1, prototype cars, racing soft tyres.
So, like from 12 types prototype cars.
We don't just mean new cars. We've got a right variety of machinery.
Ooh, yeah, I like how it's just choose your car.
That's the whole category, but some amazing cars in there, including the aforementioned 787B. There's Toyota GT1s in there, there's Group C cars, we have modern
okay, and that's how they choose a placement.
Of course. Here's your starting grid. A reminder, Kai de Brun, of course, starting on pole with Sam Cardinal in second, Serrano third, Drummond in fourth. And here's the car selection, the first look at what our drivers have picked for their machines. Any surprises there for you, Tom?
A few, yeah. Just to be clear about this, by the way, in terms of how the drivers were able to select their cars, of course.
I wonder if there's a way for me to zoom into my OBS screen a little bit more.
And so on and so forth. So obviously some drivers not quite able to get maybe the machinery that they would quite prefer, but I'm keen to see,
I see a few
for example,
Mazdas,
a Sauber
Porsche.
Mercedes C9 going head-to-head with the LM Mazda Vision Gran Turismo machine. I mean, where else are you going to get something like that?
Yeah, this is a very Gran Turismo.
A Toyota too.
I love stuff like this.
Toyotas.
Wide range of cars. 787B we mentioned down below in the lobby. I tried.
Mazda 787B.
Around here.
1991, really?
In 1991.
I thought these cars would all be like, you know.
It was, yeah,
1991.
Yeah.
Super new.
I heard that there was a YouTuber that was born in that year as well.
No.
No idea about. A brilliant car. I must be honest, I've never seen you quite as excited about
Mazda
this. Why is it that this car excites you so much?
I mean, it's just something different, isn't it?
With those wheels.
That awesome 4-rotor rotary in the back, making that awesome shriek, and its performance too, of course.
Absolutely. We're about to get the first race underway for the Nations Cup here in Fukuoka.
Wow, we are so very close to the start of our first race of the grand finals of the Nations Cup. I can't believe it.
Let's check if Fukuoka's ready. I found a cute one.
What is that dude holding?
Find the cute one.
That red thing. Oh. Oh, it's a car, probably.
He's too nervous for the race.
Anyway, are you ready?
Everybody's ready.
Who are you cheering for?
We're ready. Let's get this show on the road.
I would be that child too if I was their age. I'd be like, don't put me on the spot like that. Stop it. Stun log. Hey, no. I don't blame
Race one
them.
of the Nations Cup for the Gran Turismo World Finals then about to get underway here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Let's see how this one is going to play out then. Prototype machinery and a variety of different cars over the course of this
I was so bad with being on the spot when I was a kid.
In the heart of Belgium. Kai de Bruyne in the Toyota GT1 on pole position.
Toyota
He's got
GT1.
Samuel Cardinal in the Sauber Mercedes
Even I've
C9
heard of that one.
alongside. Then you've got Jose Serrano in the 2010 Peugeot 908. Kilian Drumont in the Nissan R92. That's going to be a tricky machinery on the lyrics, with Paul Ura in 5th place in the Jag XJR9. Then the Mazda 787B that we saw a few moments ago. Takuma Miyazono behind the wheel of that one. The Toyota GR10 Hybrid from 2021 is alongside Valerio Gallo's Porsche 962 from the 80s. Then you've got Takuma Sasaki in the Porsche 919. Guy Barber in the Mazda LS55 Vision Gran Turismo. In a Stroza in the Audi R18 from 2016. And Adriano Carrazza in the Hyundai N Vision Gran Turismo machine. Now, Jimmy, as we said, variety of different machinery for this one. There's been a fair bit of balance and performance action going on as well.
Yeah, really tricky.
Looks really cool, but I can't really tell what it is.
Never race each other in periods, so getting them to race well together here is one of the tasks of
they're so concentrated.
Here. But something to mention, of course, actually I go with some of these cars earlier on in that 787B. Very capable car around here, very quick in the corners. But that GT1,
so they all have the same setup.
Incredibly fast down the straights, but lacking in the corners. So it's going to be.
Oh, I love this. Looks so cool.
I don't really know how to
having them all lined up like that.
Absolutely not. And just to remind you of the points as well, it's double points on offer for the first and the second race.
I wonder if there's a way for me to zoom in.
In the GT World Series, so 6 points was on offer for the wins in the first 3 events. Now
there's a way for me to
that then gets doubled again
for
the grand final here tonight. So there's a lot to play for and a big opportunity for an upset in terms of the standings, with Jose Serrano, of course, still leading. Let's get the race underway then. The Nations Cup Race 1 here in Fukuoka is go, with Kai de Bruyne leading down towards that sword with Samuel Cardinal, followed by Jose Serrano. Are we going to see any dive bombs on the inside there? Looks like Miyazono was trying to lunge through in the Mazda 787B. He's now into 5th place as we come
did they just start already?
out of the source. Kai de Bruyne's gone from pole position down to 3rd, with Jose Serrano now occupying the front of this race. Up through the rise of Eau Rouge and Radion we are for the first time into the Camel Straight. And Miyazono's all over the shape, nearly into the back of Kai de Bruyne. That cost him time, cost him a place also to Samuel Cardinal. So we're only about 3 or 4 corners old in this race, and now we've got a change of lead because we're 3 abreast down the Sarpany Straight. Serrano on the inside,
it does
Drumont
matter,
Kai de Bruyne on the outside.
I didn't expect things to change up so quickly.
Serrano it is that manages to retain the lead. Drumont into 2nd, and Miyazono somehow, after all of that drama from the source and in towards Eau Rouge, manages to get himself into 3rd.
It's very good weather today.
Mistake somewhere. It's down to P8 from pole position. So a familiar story there from Kai de Bruyne as Takuma Miyazono goes side by side with Paul Ura. Sasaki moving up as well in the Porsche 919. So a hectic start there. And all that is Jose Serrano. Great start from Spanish. Ideal for him as we're in the midfield there. Paul Ura battling against Sasaki. And you're seeing all the differences of these cars here.
The time differences are so thin.
Those hybrids really fast at the start here, but being held up slightly by this Jaguar. Look at that cork in the bottom of it. And they're all together. You can barely throw a towel over them.
Yeah, you can see the newer prototype cars are just so much quicker in this midsection. The technical part of the
still
circuit.
first,
when you get onto the long straights, that's when the older machinery
Serrano just dominating. Holy
look at the gap the top 2 have got already in this
they have such a huge gap. Oh my god.
Already with 2.3 seconds in their pockets over Paul Ura, and you've got cars there that are separated by about 18 years in terms of total time.
Holy shit.
2010,
there's a 2-second gap.
Peugeot 908 being chased by the 1992 Nissan as we come down in towards the bus stop again. Drumont having a look, Serrano going for a slightly defensive line into there, manages to get it all up as we see Ura going very deep down in towards the chicane, just about manages to hold position.
Serrano can't stay safe though, there's still somebody right behind him.
As we start lap 2.
What a slide so far. Look at that gap between 2nd and 3rd. Paul Ura got a lot to do to try and bring that back from now. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack goes through the source. Serrano leading down the hill with a gap now.
Yeah, 2 seconds is huge.
We now ride on board with.
I can tell. Look at the gap.
Nissan Group C car. What a camera angle this is. Think about the power this thing has driving through the rear wheels. It's very tricky to get through the midfield. And now look at that. The length of this thing, holding it in 4th gear, 305 Ks, nearly 310 Ks. Look at the speed difference almost on into the back of Jose Serrano there, but you're seeing the strength of that thing. So if Drumont can hold on through this midsection, he can attack then in the first and last with the much more
just dominating.
Here's Miyazono He's trying to defend here from Pole Euro at 787B. Running well so far, but there's now a big gap between the leaders and this second pack.
Gallo and De Bruyne under investigation for a collision. Gallo's down in 10th place, De Bruyne's in 7th position. So De Bruyne clearly in the wars on the opening lap there of that race, and it's cost him a fair bit, and might be set to cost him a little bit more as well. Down
Crashes happen very frequently, I can imagine.
Let's have another look and see if we can pick out what happened between Gallo and De Bruyne. So Gallo's there in 10th place. Where's De Bruyne going to infer all of this? So Gallo got to the side of De Bruyne, and that sent Guy Barbara into the pit wall on the exit of the first corner as well. That's why the Australian driver is now down into 11th place.
Yeah, no, that would
Barbara can't get to break,
knock you down to 11th place easy.
Every time he comes to one of these, something happens.
Squeezed in
off
there.
the back of the field, but shame for Cardinal as well. Now P10, so goes to show that car choice and that first corner shuffle. All about it. Here comes Pole Euro using the V12. That mighty Jaguar.
音の再現度高い。いや、高いよ、全体的に。もうほぼリアルだよ、これも。
Hybrid cars, the Audi and the Porsche follow on through behind. Well, what an interesting combination. Two Group C cars, two hybrid cars. They both dug up the inside. Their camera cuts away at the worst time possible. Inestrosa, I think, has got by in the Porsche up to
stability
P4.
of Spain is insane.
Up to P5, sorry, in the R18.
Inestrosa up 7 places from where he started on the grid. He was 11th, just to remind you as well. So the Chilean really making some good ground in the opening stage of this race. Very impressive. It's only an 8-lapper, which doesn't sound that long, but of course it's a very long lap here at Spa-Francorchamps, about 7 kilometres in total. As Laboutelet has come into the pit lane then here. So clearly some problems for the Frenchman, because we weren't expecting any pit stops in this race. Not quite sure what has happened to him, but that's not a good way for him to start proceedings for the World Finals. Meanwhile, Inestrosa
avatars racing clothes
to the inside down at Lake Coombe. Can he make it stick? Side by side they go. Eura's got the inside line. It's going to switch to the outside line, and then Inestrosa does go through the Audi R18 and into 3rd place. That's opened the cork in the bottle. Look at it. The two followers of Miyazono and Sasaki are ready to pounce there as well.
Yeah, what a great little scrap this is. Again, two Group C cars taking on cars far younger than them, and still just about managing to hold on. As Inestrosa in 3rd place now. I think he's got to try and look forward, try and chase down Drummond Serrano.
That's why you have to stay right behind them.
So far.
What do you call it? Air slip or something? I forgot what it was called.
2 in 2 days from him, man.
What a pass.
Poor showing. Don't want to see that.
Disappointing there for Thomas Laboutelet then, either way, to have ended his race early. We go through in towards the
mid-wall, top 2,
part of it. And look at the gap
chilling very much at the front.
He's got to make up 3.3 seconds, a tall order. What he'll have to hope for is Drummond and Serrano to start battling with one another. We have seen a few changes of position, but nothing that's going to drop them back to the rest of the field. Out of Paul Freire we go, and in towards Blanchimont as we head towards the bus stop, and you can hear the howl of that Mazda 787B in the distance as we ride on board with Sasaki in the Porsche 919 into the braking zone. And look at the straight line speed. Inestrosa's got the inside line here with Pole Euro trying to attack for position, but into the braking zone. That's a car that Inestrosa is piloting.
The fact that they have to choose from 12 different cars makes me think they have to really practice on not just one vehicle but multiple, right? Because I think it's different depending on the round.
Popping into frame with Kai De Bruyne. And what an awful start. We sort of saying earlier with Kai, he's really fast over a single lap and just can't always seem to get it together in the race. And the same, I think, seemingly happened there as well. But we go on board with Miyazono again using that draft, and they're going to be a bit quicker this Audi in a straight line. It's slow down the straight as Audi. Look at it, really slow. Here comes the Jaguar. Here comes the Mazda. Through they go past Inestrosa in the 787B with Miyazono. Awesome pictures here as you make it through Lecom. And what an awesome little back and forth is it? These hybrids, they charge up the hybrid during the braking zone, so they'll get a burst initially out the corner, then they're slowed down into the straight around these 787Bs. What's hybrid, they say? Let's just burn more dinosaurs. That's how they do it.
Yeah,
I don't know how do you overtake somebody all of a sudden like that?
Fast down the straight with those two cars.
I don't understand how that works. It's so cool though.
He was in a Toyota a few minutes ago. Of course he's in an Audi R18. I need to get my eyes tested. Coming down into Ward 2 on we go. We ride on board with the Chilean driver. Interesting fact for you, by the way. Half of this grid, 50%, they're all former champions in one way or another. Some in the Nations Cup, some in the Manufacturers Cup. But a very, very well-esteemed grid in this. And that is why we're seeing such close competition on track.
Steering mistake and you're done for.
As Miyazono is now going to be the driver that is under threat here from Inestrosa.
Of course, both Serrano and Inestrosa, both part of the winning combination for the Manufacturers Cup yesterday. So they're on a bit of a high at the moment with that momentum. We enjoyed this battle yet again. Definitely the most interesting part of this race. This little scrap for third. As at the front, you see that IRyS just trying to get away in the Jaguar, but they can't do it. As soon as they break down here again into the bus stop, it's a big green charge zone.
4 seconds, I know. Oh my God, you're right. It is 4 seconds.
Coming out of his corners here, have a chance to get back on through past the Group C cars.
Not a great race so far. As we know from pole position, he's down into 7th place. Also for Sam Cardinal as well. We hardly mentioned.
I didn't know you could have such a
10th
big
position
difference
at the moment, considering where he started on the grid. He was on the front row. So the two drivers who were very quick in qualifying earlier
4
on this
seconds is an eternity. It
translated
is
into a strong race result for them here so far. Still a few laps left to go though, as we come over the rise of Eau Rouge and Radion. Innistrosa all over the wheel tracks of Takuma Miyazono here. So Audi R18 versus Mazda 787B versus Jaguar XJR9 as well. Down the straight we go. Euro goes for a slightly defensive line, just moves over to the right-hand side, back into the traditional rating line for the braking zone. Miyazono not able to launch an attack into Leiku.
Yeah, it's also having a look at the gap to the lead there. Dumont getting much closer down that first sector. Again, that Nissan that he's piloting, trying to follow Jose Serrano. Much quicker down the straight. IRyS like the fastest lap of the race in that Jaguar, so there's still pace there for sure.
Staying right behind him.
Super similar there. So the top 3 drivers have all got a time within 300 of each other.
Yeah, exactly. So fastest lap, it doesn't count for much because, of course, the gap's going to stay exactly the same. So IRyS, despite the fact that he's pushing on like he's left the gas on, as Miyazono's got a 1-second penalty for colliding with another car. Now that's going to be very detrimental to him because you've got Innistrosa, you've got Sasaki, all within a very close distance. So it's going to drop him down a minimum of 2
right after him saying he didn't want any accidents.
It might bring him off of the back of that group as well. Let's look at what happened then for Takuma Miyazono. So we're away for this one, then coming down towards the first corner, side by side, and Miyazono just biffed it into the back of Killian Drummond. That is what sent the Toyota right at the start of this race. It cost Sam Cardinal position.
No, that was
I beg your pardon.
But yeah, so I wondered how we got over there. I never seen that. How did you get there?
I didn't know they can get penalties for that.
Apparently is how that happens. So Paul Euro then.
I mean, makes sense.
His job's going to become slightly easy now that Miyazono's off the back of that little pack here. Let's see if that 787B now can get back in touch with his hybrids now at the draft. So here's a battle for the lead. Jose Serrano leading still in that Peugeot. Behind him, though, Killian Drummond in that Group C car. Now this is where that Nissan has the legs. Watch that gap as we go over Eau Rouge and Radion.
So that's how penalties work. They just add the extra seconds. So even if you are above
Serrano would increase his lead of the race
in the lead in the race
now, but still 2 bit laps left on board Drummond
with an extra second, so it doesn't.
In the toe again over 300 kph. He's almost driving up to the back like he's standing still there. He's just trying to show his nose, but from that far back, that's a different postcode. I'm not sure that's going to happen.
No, exactly. If he was a half a second closer or so, you know he would be very much within striking distance going in towards that chicane. But as you say, just a bit too far away at this point. So lap 6 out of 8 we're on. Pretty steady at the front end of this race. Serrano and Drummond, that gap sort of ebbing and flowing, but not really coming down to a point where Drummond is able to launch a move. And you can see coming down through this technical
get a little bit closer,
the circuit here. That's where the newer car, the car that's Jose Serrano, the 918 that he's piloting, is going to be at an advantage relative to the Nissan that Killian Drummond is driving.
That's a good middle sector though by Drummond. This is where Serrano's been sort of gapping him over the last couple of laps. Let's see what he's like through the chicane here and through the Stablos, because that's where Serrano needs to build the gap.
How do you get a gap when Serrano just plays like the most optimal course ever possible?
The out of there. Great acceleration, but now he's got to try and contend with 700 horsepower on Nissan Group C goodness. So up towards the bus stop here. Is this corner flat for Drummond? It must be in this thing at this speed.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, easy. But look at this now. Really close to Serrano. Would he go through to the bus stop? No, but you have to think, Tom, he's thinking about something maybe the end of Interlake-On.
Feels like a bit of a dress rehearsal, doesn't it? Serrano was slightly deep in the middle part there of the bus stop chicane, but due to the nature of that corner, you can sort of gather up that mistake, and it doesn't really cost him too much time. Subsequently, he has a massive boost coming out of the final turn, going down in towards the first corner.
This is so
towards Eau Rouge and Radion.
Tense.
Just again, ebbing and flowing. He's a little bit closer, a couple of tenths of a second to the better. Last time around, in terms of the lap times, literally a tenth of a second separating Jose Serrano and Killian Drummond. Paul Eura's challenge looks to have come to a bit of a halt, unfortunately. He was in the 203s last time. So whether that's a mistake or whether that car is just chewing through its tyres a bit more remains to be seen.
I can imagine this being really pretty in VR too.
Someone who is
but it feels between VR racing and traditional, I'd probably still go for traditional because VR makes me woozy.
That's as close as it's been for now for Kylian Drumont. That's his best opportunity yet to challenge for the race lead. Maybe that is the dress rehearsal that we are seeing from the Frenchman as we get ready to go into the final lap and a half of this race.
And you couldn't have two more different cars, could you? A Peugeot diesel versus a Group C Nissan. Meanwhile, here is Sasaki in the 919 Evo going almost into the back of Innestrosa, dive up the inside there. Very opportunistic. I don't think he meant to go for that, to be honest, but he saw himself going up the inside.
That was a very clean.
So there is Sasaki in the 919.
It's a rare sight that actually seeing two cars from pretty much the same era actually fighting with one another in this race. Fantastic job that Sasaki has done to get himself into fourth position. Third place would be even better though. More points on offer. Just another reminder for you. 12 points is the maximum for the race lead.
Between second and third.
To 1 point, of
course,
course,
to 6 seconds.
double
What?
points for the grand final. Nose to tail we are though still from third all the way down to sixth place at the moment with Miyazono bookending this one in the Mazda 787B.
So I'm keeping one eye on the gap between Serrano and Drumont here because that's going to be super important coming on to the last lap. Keep an eye though also on this light Euro heading this straight. Miyazono has managed to climb his way onto the back of the train after that penalty, so he's not out of it yet. We've got 4 places up for grabs in this last lap of the bit. In goes to the inside. Sasaki to defend from Innestrosa. He turns for a long way around. Is he going to make it stick? He's still just about got a nose there. Innestrosa making that work. Now it's a drag race down the stretch. Sasaki's going to win that one. And on to the final lap of the race is Drumont close enough to Serrano for a move. On the inside goes Sasaki.
Can he make it stick into La Source? He's got the move, he's got the place, he's got track position. He's through into third position. But will that cost him drive on the exit? Will leave him vulnerable as we come down the hill and head in towards Eau Rouge and Radion for the final time. So Sasaki through into the podium places for the first time in this race. But now Pol Jura is coming under threat here from Angel Innestrosa. And now he's attacking Takuma Sasaki Innestrosa as well. We're nearly 3 abreast. We are 3 abreast. Miyazono's in the middle and coming through in the 787B. Gets 2 places in the space of 1 straight as we head in towards Lake Coon for the final time. Jura's in third. Miyazono's up for it into second. Innestrosa now, the driver who's gone from attacking to defending to losing places. As Sasaki's on his inside through the right-hander. And now Innestrosa is down to 6th.
And look who's back in the mirror. Takuma Miyazono in that orange and green liveried Mazda 787B.
That's orange. It looked red to me.
Climbing his way back up the positions after that penalty earlier on.
Looked very much Christmas colors to me.
He's going to have a challenge on his hands to keep that third place to the end of the lap. And then Miyazono crowding Sasaki there to the edge of the circuit.
That
a bit
1
late
second
that
penalty.
You're seeing the difference in acceleration here.
IRyS colorblind, but it looks red.
Not content with the hybrid power of the 919 Evo and the Audi, but only half a lap to go. Maybe they keep it. Look how close Drumont is now.
Yeah, these drivers know that these points are absolutely crucial at the early stage of the weekend here for the championship. So Drumont wants to try and take points out of Serrano. Jura needs to get third place to try and hold on to
in cars like this racing at this speed, I would imagine it's not the most comfortable experience.
Drumont, 1 more opportunity left
to have a very sore
for the race lead, and he's just too far away from Jose Serrano. We're coming towards the braking zone at this point, and I don't think, unless he goes for a Dandare move on the brakes, Drumont looking to the inside. The door gets shut though by Jose Serrano, who blocks the line and holds firm as we come into the final corner. Jose Serrano wins race 1 of the Nations Cup here at Spa-Francorchamps from Kylian Drumont, and Miyazono is through on Pol Jura for third place and then dragged to the line. The 787B gets a podium here in Belgium ahead of Jura, Sasaki and Angel Innestrosa. A fantastic race there with all different types of machinery, and that is a brilliant way to start off proceedings here in the Nations Cup for the World Finals.
I thought for a second Drumont was going to get that done. That was a huge lunge by the Frenchman right at the end there, but just about getting the car slowed down. Serrano, what a strong start to his campaign, leading coming into this weekend, extends his lead now as well. Looking very good for the Spanish driver. Of course, I mentioned as well, it's going to be his own great comeback after that penalty.
Spain is insane, holy shoot, how?
Very much all to play for at the end of race 1.
Absolutely, and in terms of race 2 as well, Jimmy, for the Nations Cup, I don't want to spoil things too much, but we have sort of had a taster as to what we're expecting for the car and circuit combination.
Well, so you say, Tom, you've got the flavour.
I've got the flavour. I have definitely got the flavour for that after what we've just seen there. But that's going to be even more exciting because, you know, we're throwing a completely different
set of into round 2 already?
For these drivers.
Right after this?
And that race was an absolute thriller. Let's
Spain
look
sweep,
through some highlights of it, shall we? Amazingly, Brun and Samuel Cardinal started it on the front row of the grid. As we went down towards the first corner, though, it all kicked off.
So
was a bit late on the
right
brakes.
after. Oh, collision happened right after.
Hit De Bruyne, sent him wide and lost positions. Then it all kicked off a bit further behind there as well. That's Guy De Bruyne, who was then in the mid-pack at the start of the second lap. It sent Guy Barbara into the wall. But the battle for the majority of that race was focused on the final podium places. We had Yura, Miyazono, Inestrosa and Sasaki all dueling for position pretty much corner by corner.
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool seeing these Group C cars go up against
these overtakes look so cool. I love seeing it from like the driver perspective like that.
From 1,000 horsepower, and that. I love Gran.
No wonder the gap was so big. Yeah, no. That's what happened in the beginning. 最初の方でそういうのが起きちゃうとね、ギャップが広がるわけだ。
At this point, Miyazono was in 6th position, but it wouldn't be there for long. Look at this draft. He would get through here, overtaking the 2 hybrid cars, the high downforce configurations here. Through, he goes just squeezing.
I can imagine how easy it is for collisions to happen, mainly in the beginning, right? Because everyone's so close to each other.
And then onto the back of Pole Europe. But it was this man, Jose Serrano, leading from pretty much right to the flag. Takes his first win of the weekend. Drummond in second, and Miyazono coming home. That last podium position, third place.
Great start for Jose Serrano's championship challenge here this weekend. Disappointing end, though, for the man who, of course, was leading the championship prior to the start of this one. Pole Eura finished in 4th place, lost a handful of points to Jose Serrano. So, to my maths, I reckon they're going to be tied on points at the top of the table. Drummond there in second, Miyazono in third. Then you've got Sasaki, Inestrosa, etc. Valerio Gallo down there in 7th place ahead of Guy De Bruyne and Sam Cardinal, who both started on the front row of the grid. Adriano Carrazza there bookending the points in 10th position.
Yeah, so Serrano was going in top, so he'll be...
Beg your pardon, yeah, of course he was.
He'll be further ahead, if anything, there. But, yeah, I mean, that's our first set of points for the day there. I mean, commiserations there to Guy Barbara and Lamutale, but, yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what comes next.
So we are joined with the winner of race 1, Jose Serrano. Hi, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
I feel like you're very comfy. You've got your strategy down, which is just get out in front and let everyone else have a more
look at him leaning on the podium like that.
Yeah, the race was chaotic behind me because I had Killian behind me from 1 second to 1/10, so I was calm with him because I knew that I had a good car for the race.
He had a good car.
So yeah, so happy with the result.
I mean, it was great. You didn't know it wasn't too stressful.
Yeah. Wasn't too stressful, no.
後ろからね、ドゥルモント選手が来てたんですけれども、自分はね、1秒から1秒間半ぐらい離れてたんで、安心して走っていたということなんですけど、
1秒ぐらいの差はそんなにプレッシャーにならないんだね。
You know, didn't feel any pressure?
Breathing down your neck.
I'm really calm.
Oh, he did not feel threatened at all.
全くプレッシャーなかったということで、Wow.
What breakfast did you have this morning? I need to know the magic.
It's a secret.
Secret.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's
a secret. His breakfast is a secret.
You know, it's really been your year this year. I mean,
those are fighting words. I know.
What's been different to
it's
other
obvious
years?
that the secret is in the breakfast.
Your mindset and how you've driven.
I think
his performance.
I am very confident in myself. So it's
4 p.m. I'm sure there was also some secret in the lunch too.
I hope I win the title this year again.
はい、今年ね、非常に調子がいいんですけど、今までとの一番の違いは自分に自信が持てるようになった。なので今年またね、チャンピオン取れたいなというふうに思ってますということですね。
Confidence, positive.
See, IRyS, you must have breakfast. Yeah, I'm not eating
anything. You should be my
yet.
teacher.
Yeah, sensei.
Sensei.
I find it.
Thank you so much.
I find it amazing.
Congratulations. おめでとうございます。大きな拍手をお送りください。
I didn't feel threatened by the guy behind me at all. 1.5 seconds. Oh, easy.
Well, let's get confirmation of the points standings then. Jose Serrano, of course, taking the win here for the first race of the weekend in the Nations Cup. He was already leading the championship.
Reason that I lack confidence because I don't eat breakfast? Oh, is that what it was?
Looks like a lot.
This whole
Don't
time?
forget, of course, there's a maximum of 12 points on offer for the second race, and then we double that for the final race, 24 points. So there's still a big chance.
Okay, so we still do add the points from past races,
one more race can
like
cost you
before
very dearly indeed. So Pole Euro there, 4th place was over the line in that first race, but you can see there now 10 points the gap that sits between him. It means that Drummond, Miyazono, Gallo, etc. have all closed that gap up behind.
Yes, it's very tight, really. Second, third, fourth, and 5th place. But that's 10 points. I mean, we do have, double points. As
I
you
do
say,
want Miyazono on the podium.
That's still a decent gap there for Jose Serrano. You saw his reaction there. It's kind of like, yep, okay.
Drummond is in danger.
Done. 2 more to go.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's not
it
the
is
first
quite a
time
commanding lead, yeah, I know.
Racing action so
10-point
far
difference.
this weekend. Of course, we had the Manufacturers Cup
here
yesterday, and it was a bit of a thriller. Wasn't it? We really did enjoy some exciting racing action, which went down right to the checkered flag. But not only that, we also unveiled this, the first event in the Middle East happening for the 2026 Gran Turismo World Series. We're going to Abu Dhabi on the 28th of March to kick off our year on absolutely brilliant prospect that is. It was announced in front of the crowd here in Fukuoka. We had His Excellency down on the stage, and then of course we crowned our champion as well in the Manufacturers Cup. We saw Porsche starting on pole position in the grand final. We saw battles though with Mazda, which went right down to the closing stages.
So apparently they also had an update really recently, a free update, the Spec 3.
And Porsche, but in the end it was
added 2 new courses, some really nice cars. There was this one really good-looking car that I thought looked really unique. What was it called again? I can't remember what his name was. For free, yeah.
This is now, of course, we're here
had a free update. December 4th, which is this month.
Second race, I'm sure, is going to be much
the same.
Exciting new
content.
We are going to
Which
the
car?
It
was in like the trailer. Looked really cool.
Very recently, and we're going to be in the Gran Turismo F3500B.
Yeah, the E-Space.
Now, if you haven't seen this car, it's a 90s Formula car.
The E-Space F1.
Instead of a V8 engine, we swapped it out with stuck a V10 engine in it, which makes it even trickier to drive. The starting grid for this one is determined by the order of the results from race 1, 17 laps, 2 times
the super van
consumption, 6 times tyre wear, racing medium and soft tyres there as well, and crucially, right at the bottom there, a standing start.
And no, I drove these things the other day, and
this game is only for PlayStation at the moment.
Wheel spinning, then things have gone very right for you, tell you that. Here's the predicted strategy. It's a one-stop.
That's why you should get a PlayStation.
Soft tyres, of course, been a bit quicker than medium tyre, but we're a bit quicker, and then vice versa for the mediums. I don't think there's going to be any fueling needed here at all. It's all about just making sure you use that tyre properly. So there is some scope for maybe an undercut or something.
Apparently they also had a DLC where they added 24-hour endurance races.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Then, of course, as we said, it reflects the results from race 1. So Serrano on pole with Drummond in second place. Miyazono, URS, Asaki in Astroza, all there inside the top 6. Then Gallo, De Bruyne, Cardinal, Carrazza,
When are you going to eat? When are you going to sleep? 24-hour endurance races?
There'll be a gap because he's not participating in any further races here
tonight. The amount of dedication that would take.
Let's have a look at this F3500B then. This, of course, is a car that came to Gran Turismo 7 earlier on this year, and I have to say, it's already a firm favourite amongst drivers and fans.
Yeah, if you're a certain
age. One driver. Oh,
like myself.
Okay. For a second, I was like, what?
Right here.
Driving 24 hours? What?
V10 engine from the Espace F1 crammed into the back as a Renault V10. Over 800 brake horsepower, something that weighs just over half
24-hour stream.
Extremely fast, extremely fun.
The amount of seatbelts there are on those cars.
Definitely a steel-based car, this one.
And Jimmy, a standing start for the driver. So how does that change things? Because obviously a rolling start, you
he's got the Shogoki colors with his gloves.
Stand to lose.
Either that or I'm colorblind.
You get too twitchy off a line, which is very hard to do because you're waiting for a light to go out. It's very easy just to give that.
緑と紫に見えるぞ、その色。いいね。初号機カラーに見えるけどわかんない。もしかして私の色の判断が間違ってる可能性もある。Purple and green. I dig that.
All right, race 2 is coming up, and the gap is huge.
The gap is huge.
Serrano is ahead, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, Fukuoka, are you ready for race 2 in the Nations Cup?
Are you ready?
The dude in the front with the girl next to him just
Let's hope
raising
the
his eyebrows.
drivers are ready, because it's about to start.
I'm on TV, man. I'm on TV. 前ビクビクすんなよ。
World Series World Finals about to get underway, and the drivers then lining up on the grid for this one. Let's see how it is going to work out then. A standing start at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in these 90s Formula cars. Pole position, Jose Serrano, the winner from race 1. Alongside him on the front row is Kylian Drummond in his Gran Turismo F3500B. Then Takuma Miyazono heading the second row of the grid with Paul Ura for company, chasing down Serrano's championship lead. Sasaki Zaki in P5
So
on the
interesting how
grid.
this is so
With
different
Angel
from the time
Estrada,
attack.
6th position for the Chilean, made some good progress from where he qualified in the first race.
You can
Gallo
just tell
lines up
that
P7, and
that
he
just
has got
means that they
Kaida
all have
Brun
their
for
own, like,
company
specialties.
alongside.
Some of them are better at
Samuel
time
Cardinal
attack, some of
started
them
from the
are
front
better
row,
at
finished
the
P9
race
in
itself.
race 1. Adriana Carrazza completes the top 10 for Brazil. Then it's Guy Barbara in 11th position, and
Gran
alongside
Turismo
him
cars.
should have been Thomas Laboutelet. Anyway, all eyes on the 5 red lights then. Who will be the king in Canada as we get the second race underway here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Lights are out and we are racing. Jose Serrano leads them down towards the first corner, but keep an eye out for Kylian Drumont. Is side by side, and Miyazono is in there as well. Drumont is way off onto the car park. As we go into the first corner, he goes down and drops behind Serrano for the race lead. So Serrano is the lead. Now Miyazono goes into second, and Drumont banging into the barrier. So he's already picked up a penalty for his dramas in the first couple of corners, and now he's gone down like a tabletop and into the wall.
There's a huge crash in the background as well. Oh wow, that was chaos at the start. I mean, the upshot is Serrano is now presented with a gap out front. Miyazono second to Zaki third, Yura fourth, but I think Yura at the start, I don't know if he touched the grass or something, but he was way too fast in T1, went flying into the back of Drumont, and who got just shoved over the grass.
I guess he got shoved. Really? Did he just get pushed over?
So, yeah,
under investigation, first corner incident.
Investigation, man, what a start.
Well, we always talk about pressure, don't we, in these events? And so that's
going
the case there for Paul Yura. And has he succumbed to that pressure? 10 points deficit he has from Jose Serrano at the top of his championship table, and that could be set to take a further dent as it stands for now. Anyway, just look at the time for the first time in this race. Serrano, Miyazono, and Yura are the drivers who are on the soft compound. Yura, of course, desperate to make up ground, courtesy of the fact he's on that soft tyre and needs to be in the top 3 positions. But already you can see the gap between himself and Miyazono as he goes through for third place down at turn 1. Should be nice and easy there for Paul Yura with the extra grip under braking and in the mid-phase of the corner. Anyway, come back to that in a few moments. Let's have a look at what happened. Keep an eye out for Paul Yura there in 4th place. He's going to go careering into the back of Miyazono and Drumont.
So different. Oh, I guess he did get pushed over.
But I mean, that's a very clear, just shunned off the field. And Drumont there had no choice but to go over the grass. So real shame there for the Frenchman. That's after a very strong race in race 1.
I know.
Yeah, disappointing there for Kylian Drumont, not through any fault of his own, I might like to add there as well. Meanwhile, sharp end of this one, that's the joy for Jose Serrano, who's just been able to keep his nerve calm and keep his power to drive for now. He's up into the lead of this one with a second or so's advantage over Miyazono. Miyazono just sort of flirting on the edge of that slipstreaming range in this race, but certainly not close enough to launch an attack at this point. And just to remind you, of course, there are 2 tyre compounds in this one. They must use each tyre compound at least once in this race. So we'll see how that one is going to work out. It's a 17-lapper. It's a fairly long race duration, so you want to try and extend those soft tyres for as much as you possibly can, but it's finding that balancing
when you're
point,
like
isn't it?
right behind someone that's like literally like
but not too
probably
long,
the best player
cliff, and then you end up
in the game right now.
It's all strategy involved.
It'll probably help with your own personal time too.
Just eking out the gap.
He's just dominating, man.
A great player on board. Kylian Drumont trying to come back through.
You learn a lot being right behind someone super strong.
Going far off the circuit and then back down to P9. So some frustration there for sure for Kylian Drumont. And you can't blame him really, can you? No fault of his own, he's pretty much out of the race, but anything can happen.
Poor Drumont.
1.7 seconds is the gap to the front for the 2023 Nations Cup champion, part of Team Spain. Of course, that format back there being chased for the double champion and reigning champion, Takuma Miyazono.
Still no word on the investigation for Paul Yura down at the first corner. There we go. I say that right on cue. 3-second penalty for colliding with another car. No surprise there at all for Yura. Right, now that's going to really compromise his race, because not only is he on the soft tyre, he's also going to be losing time, losing places as well. It's going to put him right out of sequence.
3 seconds is big.
Yura in the past. Pressure does get to him a little bit. He does crack a little bit, and that's the grand example. Look at that, slowing down there, serving the pass. Gallo through, will Carrazza get through as well then? No, just about, but still not ideal for the Spanish driver.
Yeah, now trying to attack and retaliate against Valerio Gallo. Down the start-finish straight we go. Yura has the inside line. Gets the move done quite easily into turn one. Karaz's there really trying to pick up the pieces as well. He's also on the soft compound of tyre. He tried to make some ground from where he started. He's made up 4 places from 10th.
I don't know if it's even possible to get first place when Serrano's around.
The Brazilian driver as we ride on board with him now, because being mired in the pack there, you might as well throw something different at it and try and make some ground whilst the field is all concertinaed up. Through the middle part of the first lap, first sector we go. As Rumon's also picked up another penalty there, I can just see, for his trouble.
They're so out in the open in these cars.
Otherwise, but it's just going from bad to worse.
There's no roof on top of these.
There with Adrian Aggressive, Brazilian driver. Never really shone as bright as he could have done, I think, in this series so far. But himself and Gallo, admittedly,
only if he loses control like yesterday.
Difficult downforce style.
Is that what happened yesterday?
A lot of driver skill needed to extract the maximum out of these machines, and both Gallo and Karatsa moving forward strongly. And Paul Yura trying to get back into the swing of things after his penalty. Sasaki in front there, just checking the mirrors, and Paul Yura comes from rocketing up behind a bit. What a sight that is, breaking down chicane behind. Gallo looking to try and defend from Karatsa, does do just about, but those two going side by side there.
Oh, is he going to get cut?
Paul Yura, now there you go. Looks easy, doesn't it? That tire advantage is really strong here.
Nicely done there for Paul Yura, makes the move clinically and decisively, exactly what he needed to do, but I think third is probably the best that the Spaniard can hope for here. And you have to consider the fact that the drivers behind on the medium tyres, Sasaki and Gallo, they're still very much within
the
touching distance.
They seem to know, the camera knows when an overtake is going to happen.
The race, of course,
few
that's going to leave
beforehand.
Yura quite vulnerable now as well, isn't it, compared to the medium shod runners who will then subsequently be on the soft compound of tyre at this one.
And Serrano right now in a different league, 3 seconds down the gap to Miyazono. His last lap time was 7/10 faster than anyone in the field. Ridiculous pace from Jose Serrano, just not leaving anything to chance. A reminder of the points awarded for position here. Of course, for Serrano,
they're super loud IRL, I can imagine,
very nicely, one step closer to that 2025 crown, but still early in this race here.
17 laps,
Pit stops to be made as well, strategies to unfold, all to play for.
Certainly is. Down the back straight we go, in towards the chicane once more. Karatsa again falls under the wheel tracks there of Valerio Gallo, not quite close enough to launch a move. Just a point to mention as well, by the way, the pit entry is right at the end of this long back straight. It's a fairly quick pit entry, and we saw the race in the eSport team competition earlier on as Karatsa goes for the outside line here on Valerio Gallo. Gallo just about covers him off in towards turn 2, but Karatsa there, you think he'd have a bit more grip under braking, but has to turn tighter, then gets a bit of wheel spin and loses time out of the second corner.
Just thinking about what to have for dinner.
About the pit entry, very fast into there. Drivers are going to be careful to not cut the lines too much on the way in, because they will pick up a 3-second penalty.
And he has to make sure nobody sees him eating dinner, because it's also probably a secret.
How fast can you box these cars? Very fast is the answer, and it is a very narrow margin to get through it at that speed. So on board with Valerio Gallo then in this F3500. 800
how fast he is and how much you just have to worry about the competition.
So nice and easy in that lap. This is spinning the wheels in third gear. That's how much power these things have. Towards the hairpin now, laid down the machine gun down through the gears into second for
when you think about that, it's like
try and get a nice
Drummond did a good job tailing him within about a second.
Which Gallo is doing. Gallo moving forward now, Sasaki starting to falter a bit on that medium tyre. Not the first time that we've seen this F3500B in the Gran Turismo World Series. We had it, of course, earlier on this season, and also last season as well, for that matter. On that occasion, it had the V8 engine in it. This V10 a little bit more torque, a little bit more power. It's just that bit trickier to drive on the limit. That's why you're seeing drivers getting wheel spin and just sliding the car a little bit more. You can see Gallo there parking his machine on the apex of the corner. It takes a bit of a slower line through that first turn, and then subsequently slows up through turn 2. But you can afford to do that. You don't have to send it around the outside.
Even if you have like such a huge gap between first and second, I can imagine the pressure you still have in first.
Karatsa again seeking the opportunity to pounce into the middle sector to down move on the inside. Karatsa just decides that the stretch is better part of Valor, but you sense it's a case of when and not if for the Brazilian to try and attack against the Italian. He's been flirting with the idea over the last couple of laps or so, and again he closes up onto the back of him as we come through in towards the hairpin.
And I automatically assume all these drivers, they play on manual.
It's not going to last much longer at this speed. He needs to make these moves and get on with it. He spent too much time.
Really need to know what you're doing if you want to play on manual.
A tap there on Gallo for good measure, which is probably going to set up him very nicely for a move on to
Imagine playing on automatic on a stage like this.
In front. Saki does try and go defensive 6 in the middle of the circuit, but not much he can really do about that. Kind of drives by using that slipstream up into 4th place. Karatsa's going to try the move as well. Wow, caught him unaware there, and Karatsa picking the pocket of Saki up into 5th place.
I don't have a car license,
The driver's really aggressive over the curbs there, and he properly slammed it over the sleeping policeman, didn't he?
Maybe I'll just learn how to drive so I can drive in race sims instead of actually driving IRL.
Through into 4th position. So this is working out quite nicely here for Valerio Gallo. Yura, of course, he's in 3rd place, as we know, but he's still some 6 seconds off the back of Miyazono, and of course he's going to owe the medium compound of tyre at the end of this race, which is going to leave him vulnerable because Gallo will be on the soft compound of tyre. So you would imagine that Gallo is going to be a shoo-in for a podium if it all continues going his way. Sasaki with a big amount of wheel spin through the 2nd chicane, just about manages to gather it all up okay, but it costs him a bit of time. So maybe a bit of frustration creeping in there for the Japanese driver as we come through the 2nd sector. You can see the car starting to move around here now, so maybe there's medium tyres coming towards the end of their useful shelf life.
Well, it's just also
the timing when they
burn through the tyres by
hit the brakes is so important.
Each corner. It's part of the challenge of driving this absolute monster, as Karatsa now struggling to keep up with the unleashed Valerio Gallo, despite being on the faster compound of tyre. We'll check lap times as they come through to get an idea.
Every gear shift counts.
Decided to come in. Does Karatsa as well.
Meanwhile, I just play on automatically like gear shift. What's that?
Flash in the background there. Wow. Yeah, so he's coming in now to get rid of that soft tyre. Gallo, this is a lap for him. He needs to get this right. It's be a strong lap for him.
Yes.
Saki as well.
For
Karatsa, he's had his best tyre now. Really got to just try and see what he can do from here.
Yeah, damage limitations.
They got their own virtual
He tries to do something different. It's sort of half worked out for him. He'll gain a few more places compared to where he started this race, but I don't think it's going to be a challenge for the podium.
Imagine making a screw up and being a part of the pit crew, being like, oh.
Here is Paul Yura then coming out of the pit lane. Careful of the white line on the exit there. Another place where you can pick up one of those 3-second penalties. So you've got 3 drivers now on the soft compound of tyre, Barbara, De Bruyne and Cardinal. Meanwhile, this is Karatsa. Gallo and Sasaki are side by side in the foreground here, and look at this, Karatsa's just going to lunge a very late move on the brakes, clatters it over the curb on the inside. It does happen, not in game, of course. Gets it stopped, and just catches Sasaki very unawares, who has to take to the escape mode, and well, you can see just how surprised the Japanese driver was.
Imagine if that happened, like, that happens in IRL, like, I can imagine the rest of the pit crew beating him up, being like, how dare you!
Huge speed to the pit entry. My word, but yeah, one opening stint from Jose Serrano. No one was close to his pace.
They're ready. Look at them,
at all.
ready with the tires.
That's what he needs. You know, he was saying he's feeling confident in himself, and you can see it in his driving. Just 0 mistakes, quietly aggressive, and just getting on with it. Relentless is the pace of Serrano, and if he keeps this up, it's going to be hard for anyone to catch him.
Yeah, 4 seconds near enough the advantage he had over Takuma Miyazono prior to that pit stop. Subsequently 12 seconds over Valerio Gallo. Of course, Gallo's now in the pit.
Soft tires
He's going to be on
them,
to the soft compound of tyres, so he'll be quicker than the top 2 in the closing stages of this race. But 12 seconds with, what, 7 laps to go. That's a meteoric amount of time for Gallo to close up. But, you know, if you see Serrano and Miyazono, if they start squabbling amongst one another, it's not out the realms of possibility, but it's a tall order for the Italian to start being involved in that battle for the victory.
We'll see. Gallo, he likes to chase, does Gallo. He likes to be the one trying to gain position in the last couple of laps. So we'll see if he can do that.
Serrano's unbeatable.
2.7 seconds. That is a gap that will probably come down, and that's why we're saying about Gallo challenging
missing the crew radio.
You'd imagine it's a matter of when and not if you're going to see the Italian driver starting to fight and starting to challenge Yura. And if Yura hasn't got the grip underneath him on that medium compound of tyre, I don't think there's anything that he's going to be able to do to defend it.
That pit stop's not going to change anything of his time.
The cars are so much faster than that soft tyre, especially in these first couple of laps. They're fresh, they're hot off the blankets, and they're just very, very grippy. So here's the life point standings. If it ends like this, Jose Serrano has one hand on that trophy. Challenge is getting close. Meanwhile, the midfield battle is getting a little bit spicy as Killian Drummond tries to come back to the field after being shunted off. That's C1 by Paul Yura. Trying to find a way by Angela Stroza, newly crowned, of course, Manufacturers Series champions.
Really hard to overtake.
It's
almost impossible to overtake. F1 radio is hilarious. I need to listen to that.
Yeah, lovely stuff there for Killian Drummond. Jose Serrano, fastest lap for him is a 1:16.0. That's not quite the time he set last time around, because of course it's now on the medium compound of tyre, but he does hold
even MF
that
Ghost has a character,
yes.
I know who you're talking about.
The only other driver who's in the 1:16s on that last lap
was
Samuel
Cardinal,
who's a 16.6, and he's right down at the bottom of the order. So Killian Drummond through this long right-hander. I drove this car and circuit combination yesterday. I have to say, I was really surprised at how brave you have to be to keep it fully planted through that right-hander. It looks quite easy watching it on the screen here, but when you're in the cockpit, I mean, it's pretty hairy.
Yeah, Drummond's doing his best with what he can.
Some aero, but not the amount we're used to in today's race cars.
With what he has.
Now looking in the back of Adrian Carrazza, the Brazilian driver in front. What's Drummond going to do here?
Yeah, overtake!
From 10 years back. I mean, Carrazza had to open the steering there, so that happened. That's also opened him up from a fight there. Menestroza behind. I get the impression that it's sort of, well, you know what? If I want to get shunted off there, I'm going to just drive super aggressively. These places are mine. Back up to 6th place. Good recovery
Sasaki is in danger.
Yeah, I don't know what the French verb sonnet is, but he's certainly throwing it at it, isn't he? Here is Killian Drummond. Through the final chicane we go, and across the timeline once again. Serrano it is that still leads the way. Oh, big lunge and a big, massive moment for Menestroza into the back of Adrian Carrazza as he just misjudged his braking zone into the first corner. Manages to gather it up all okay, and not too much harm done there for the Chilean in the middle of all of that. But either way, a bit of desperation and a bit of a misjudgment for him there.
4 seconds, guys, 4 seconds.
It cost him a little bit of time here.
Meanwhile, Polyura, the gap coming down between himself and Valera Gallo. 6/10 the difference last lap. Now they're getting closer and closer on that soft compound of tyres. So
I didn't even realize.
The ideal spot to be having a move is, of course, into the last chicane here, and that's all done by setting up his hairpin nicely. So on the brakes there, very, very close. What's the gap now down the straight? It's about 7 tenths of a second. So he will be getting a little bit of a draft here, probably not enough to make a move. This will bring him right onto the back of Polyura's rear end.
That's just how, you know,
Killian Drummond as well. Sasaki picked up a penalty. You can see that with the red dot flashing next to his name. 8 tenths of a second, so that's easily enough for him to close up onto the back and possibly challenge for that 5th position. We come through the final chicane though, meanwhile, with Gallo. And again, he just closes up. Last time around in terms of the lap times, actually a lot quicker for Valerio Gallo. 1:16.1 for him. Polyura a 1:17 flat. That's the difference in terms of the tyres, and that's how much it's cost Polyura in this race. That moment that he had, the penalty that he suffered from.
Gallo does have a chance of overtaking that though.
A chance of victory slipping through his fingers, certainly, and possibly a podium going away for the Spanish driver. And with that under threat, and if Gallo is able to find his way through, Serrano, as Jimmy said, is going to be edging ever closer to that title. Polyura goes defensive then. Gallo looks to pull to the outside as we come under the bridge. In towards the chicane, he goes to the outside line. That's brave. As we come over the chicane, he manages to make it stick. Gallo throwing caution to the wind, and as he moved up into the podium places.
Yeah, I recognise that, Valerio. That's a 2021 champion Gallo move right there. That's how you do it. Round the outside. You're being very respectful getting in the room there to do so, but Gallo now
this must be fun if you actually know what you're doing in games like this.
Only got 4 laps left to do it though, so I'm unsure really if he has the time to get there, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Valerio. So
that move was,
last time around, Serrano putting in strong lap times in that medium, a high 16s. Here's a replay of that move then. Polyura goes defensive. Gallo goes round the outside
just going on
there.
the side like
just about runs the speed through. Ura gives him the room.
That looks like a scene that could be initial D.
Move of the race so far for sure.
Yeah, well done there for Valerio Gallo. Exactly what he needed to do. Sasaki and Drummond there. We mentioned about it last time around.
The forever together music right after
that. These drivers are on the medium compound tyre. Carrazza and Drummond are also under investigation. Carrazza's down in 10th place, and we were singing his praises earlier on. So I wonder if it was the fault of that and caused the incident. He's also under investigation for an incident with Kaida Brun there as well. So we'll try and pick the bones out of that one once we get a replay. Drummond, though, as we sit on board with the Frenchman. Again, you sense that it's a missed opportunity for him here today in terms of the Nations Cup. He's won the Manufacturers Cup, but again, he just seems to be slipping through his fingers at the most crucial moments. I mean, again, not his fault. What happened at the start of this one, but just wrong place, wrong time, and misfortune really is falling into his hands.
Yeah, I mean, you can't control other people's application of the brake pedal, can you? It's unfortunate for him, but what you've got to do is get your head down and do the best you can with what you've got, and Drummond is doing that. Now stalking Sasaki, trying to get back up into the top 5. not close enough to do it here, but again, edging ever closer to the pace. Very strong.
The gap between first and second is so big.
One of the fastest cars on
We're just watching everyone in the middle of the pack right now.
Certainly could. Let's have a look then.
There seems like there would be a change in pull
at the first corner.
In placing.
The apex holds the line.
Only around the middle. Oh, another penalty.
1 second penalty for a collision then, so he was deemed as the fault of that incident we saw with Adriano Carrazza coming up on our screen a little bit earlier on. Through the chicane we go.
Mid-pack, yes. Mid-pack is where all the action is at pretty much at this point.
The Japanese driver, we're loving the action on track here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And if you haven't downloaded the Spec 3 update for GT7, get yourself onto it because you'll be able to drive this and also the brand new Yas Marina circuit. Of course, Yas Marina Abu Dhabi will be the home of the first World Series event in 2026. Sasaki a bit deep into the chicane, lost a bit of time, leaves Drummond again a bit closer. Wonder if he'll think about a lunge into the hairpin or maybe set something up on the exit.
Look at that. Just going for that exit there, wide in and shallow out, and that's going to be a good way to try and get a run. The gap is only 0.3 seconds. So here's what the slipstream does. Sasaki just going over the grass. That won't help his defensive effort at all. Going defensive early. Drummond's going to be forced to go around the outside. He don't mind. He'll do that. Drummond right the outside. Very well defended by Sasaki, is it though? They just both get through. Drummond up into 5th place. But look at the background. Ango and Estroza with a much better run than both of them through there. Is also in contention. There's now 3 cars battling for 5th. And Estroza now right on the back of Sasaki. Through into the right hander we go then. Estroza's ready to try and pounce. So Sasaki's lost 1 place, possibly set to lose another here.
Like
to Agan and Estroza. Out of turn 2 we go and down in towards the right left. And Drummond, well, made hay whilst the sun shone there, exactly what he needed to do. Gallo meanwhile brought the gap down to Miyazono to 5.4 seconds as Estroza has a look to the inside. The door's not quite ajar enough for him to be able to walk through at the moment, but the Chilean really driving like a man possessed. Sasaki again clipping the grass. Not the first time we've seen that. Cost him drive, cost him a possibility of a position here as well. As Estroza drives around the outside even before they've made it fully into the braking zone and goes through to 6th. I mean, Drummond must be worried about the Estroza charge as well, but they're still fighting. Sasaki and Estroza having to go inside and defend is Angel. Just about keeping that place for now, but this isn't the place you want to be here, really. You're now giving the draft to the car behind. Will we see a retaliation from Sasaki on what we go then? Up for the gears, 330 kph maximum speed. We go down straight 340 as we hit the anchors there, but not close enough to make a move with Estroza. I think maybe we've seen Sasaki struggling these last 2 laps. I think we're going to see him maybe drop off the back now. Yeah, what was it? You know, 2 corners, those 2 battling amongst one another, and that's allowed Drummond a second or so's advantage. It sort of moves him out of the meaningful slipstreaming range. Meanwhile, we've hardly mentioned him. It's like he's been on a Sunday drive to the shops. Jose Serrano has had an absolute blinder for this one. He started, of course, at the very head of the field, courtesy of winning the first race. And at the moment, it looks like he's going to make it 2 wins from 2 to come through the middle sector on the final lap. 5.1 seconds is the advantage he now holds over Takuma Miyazono. And this has been an absolute display of excellence.
Sunday drive. It's like he's in a time attack by himself or something.
This is the drive of a champion. This is the guy who knows how to win races, who has won this series before, and it's really hard to call anything he's done right now as he comes to finish the race here. Undoubtedly in the lead. What a great job from Jose Serrano. Inestroza's dropped down to 10th place, by the way. They're under investigation, Sasaki and Inestroza, for that collision. Serrano, though, out of the final turn, he's going to win race 2 of the Nations Cup here for the Gran Turismo World Finals. 2 wins from 2 races for the Spaniard. Takuma Miyazono comes across the line in second, and Valerio Gallo will complete the podium. A fantastic drive from the Italian. Moves his way up from 7th on the grid to finish on the podium here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, ahead of Paul Ura and Kylian Drummond, who also recovered magnificently well after the misfortune he suffered on the opening lap. Sasaki in 6th place ahead of Guy Barbara, but that remains to be seen of whether Sasaki will hold that 6th place, because we saw Inestroza going tumbling down the order on the final lap.
I didn't realize it would be this intense.
And we're not quite sure what happened. We'll have to try and pick the bones out of it.
First place is just so stable.
A perfect start to life for Takuma, for Jose Serrano here in Fukuoka. Great way for him to continue his championship challenge, and the great performance that we've seen from the Spaniards. Looks calm, doesn't he? I mean, you wouldn't know he's 1 step away from being the 2025 Nations Cup champion. Yeah, great run by Serrano.
Giving a thumbs up to the guy was like, hey.
A bit of a shout out to Gallo and Barbara, our biggest leaders. They both gained 4 positions in that race, so very good recovery from them. but star of the show undoubtedly this match. Jose Serrano one step closer to that crown.
Yeah, exactly what he wanted, exactly what he needed to do, Jose Serrano then, as he just talks to his fellow competitors on the stage. Let's get a look then at some highlights from that race. So it was a standing start. Jose Serrano was on the right, Drummond was on the left. The lights went out and we went racing. But keep an eye out for the cars from behind. Pole Euro, bang, into Miyazono, into Drummond, and then it cost Drummond a chance of really challenging for anything meaningful in this race. He also ended up in the barrier on a second occasion there as well. Euro was given a 3-second penalty for his part in the incident, and then had to fight his way back through the field. We had Sasaki, who went down the order. Not a particularly brilliant race in terms of the final finishing position for the Japanese driver, but all eyes were on Valerio Gallo, and at one point also Adriano Carrazza as well, as they made some ascensions through the field. Then we had the pit stops in the mid-phase of the race. Serrano came out in a comfortable lead, and we kept an eye, as we said, on Valerio Gallo on that soft compound of tyre as he challenged Pole Euro's final podium place.
Drummond on his way back through the field, as you say. Quite aggressive there, don't blame him to make those moves. Is Gallo making them move?
I have to say though, I think that's probably the best answer I would give to if I was asked, what did you eat for breakfast, IRyS?
Then side by side here with Takuma Sasaki. This was an absolutely fantastic bit of driving from both of them, as a matter of fact, because there was so much respect, but yet not much space. This was Serrano though, cruising his way to a comfortable victory in the second race of the weekend. Jose Serrano taking the checkered flag and extending his lead at the top of the championship standings. Is it one hand now on the title for the Spaniard with one race left to play for?
That's probably the best answer you can give to that question.
Well, there are your competitors on your screen. And it'll be all eyes and all focus on waiting for that final race, which of course is going to be double points as well. Red Bull X 2019 at the Nordschleife. So same circumstances as we had in 2024, which I think is going to be pretty interesting to see how this one works out.
Yeah, I mean, like, there is a big gap going into this, this last round here. Of course, bear in mind that the double points can change things around. If Serrano has a horrible last race, finished out on the points, Miyazono, Gallo, they can still win this thing. So definitely all to play for.
If something insane, like
absolutely, he's saying he's confident. If something Jules and Sasha, and he was saying
happens in this next race,
he's driving super well. I've not seen a single mistake from him all weekend, to be honest. But it's not all done yet. The pressure must be building.
Now, that's the thing, isn't it? You end up in that situation where the pressure builds, and it's that one simple mistake that can cost you. You know, if he makes an error on the opening lap of the grand final and drops himself down to 10th place, or whatever it might happen to be,
I have a few names on my list of like
turned on its head, and that championship,
key drivers, and all the ones that are in the top are all the key drivers, pretty much.
Not so good. You know, it means that the situation is completely different. We are still waiting for confirmation of the results at the moment, courtesy of some investigations that we saw on that final lap. I believe the incident with Sasaki and Nostroza is what is being looked at by the race stewards. There we are. We now have confirmation of the results. So there we go. Jose Serrano is crowned as the victor. Takuma Miyazono in second. Gallo is in third place. Yura in fourth ahead of Drummond, Sasaki.
Miyazono does have a chance for podium.
Good race for the Australian ahead of Carrazza, De Bruyne, and then in Nostroza the final points on the board there. Samuel Cardinal, the only driver who failed to score for that one. Well, there we are. Confirmation of the results here in Fukuoka. And Jose Serrano, of course, as we know, will extend his lead at the top of the table. And we'll see exactly by how much of an advantage he holds over the rest of the field going into the final race of the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series.
I just realized now it's only just 11. What?
Takuma Miyazono, of course, he's the reigning champion. It'll be a disappointment for him to possibly be losing out on that crown. But let's catch up then with Jose Serrano and also, I believe, Pole Euro as well.
That sounds terrifying. What?
Yes, we are down on the floor now with Miyazono and Ura. They did really, really well. So first of all, okay, you're second in the points. I think it's 15 behind. How are you feeling? I guess we should probably talk a little bit about Kylian.
Yeah, first of all, I want to apologize to him. It was all on me, so I have nothing to say about that. Just sorry for him, and sometimes mistakes happen. It was my time. I'm sorry for it.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens.
15点差で2位にユーラ選手も入ってるわけですけれども、最初のね接触ですけれども、わざとじゃなくて、時とこういう風に起きてしまう自分のミスだったので本当に謝りたいと思っています。And with Miyazono, he's 1 point behind Yura, so third in the championship. 16点差、ユラ選手と1点差だと思うんですけれども、チャンピオンシップ3位。どうでしょう、ここからあと2レースありますが。
はい、もう次で最後なんですけど。
そうか、もう次で最後だ。
次で最後だ。
そうだ。
Oh my god, that's so quick.
正直ポイント差が大きいので、優勝はかなり厳しいと思うんですけど、今年最後のレースなんで、いいところ見して、少しでもいい順位で終わりたいと思います。
So the next race is the last one. Point difference is quite huge, so I'm sure winning is not that easy, but I want to show my best to to the audience for the final race of the year.
上位キーパーできるぞこれは。
Which was yesterday when we were talking to Jose, I was asking
he definitely has a chance at keeping his place on the podium though.
Does he go as aggressive as anyone else? And he was like, no, I'm easier. But I feel like now, is it kind of, I mean, it's the final race. If it comes to, are you just gonna, I mean, I know you got like your Spanish brotherhood, but I don't know, it's the last race of the season. Are you gonna fight super aggressive?
Spanish brotherhood.
I don't think being aggressive will even solve the championship as he's got a big margin already. So yeah, but I mean, I always try to race respectfully with everyone.
That's true. That's true. He's just like, yeah, even if I go extremely aggressive, this is not going to change.
The final race it will be the same, of course.
はい、ポイントが
diplomatic.
I mean, it's true. At least he's honest.
外交的な外向きの答えだねっていうふうに言ってましたけども、っていうのはポイント差が離れてるけども、最後アグレッシブに行くかどうかということですけれども、でももちろんそのね、同じ国ということでリスペクトもあると思うんですが、ユラ選手は常にですね、こうやって自分はリスペクトを持ってフェアで行こうというふうに思っています。で、セラノ選手も同じだと思うので、そういった意味ではアグレッシブに行ってもチャンピオンシップを変えるほどではポイント差が小さくないので、レースをしたいというふうに言っていますけれども、それに対して外交的ねって言ってますけれども、素晴らしい
外交的というか事実だからね。確かに事実だ。どんなにアグレッシブにいってももうね、ポイント差がね。
宮園選手、最後素晴らしいレースをディフェンディングチャンピオンとして見せたいということですが、どんなレースしましょう。
去年最終ラップいい形で終われたので、セラーノのレースは壊すことなく、最後理想は2人でバチバチのバトルができたらなと思ってます。
頑張れ。
I don't want to ruin Serrano's race, but I want to
have a close race with Serrano.
Side by side until the final lap.
Side by side, yeah. バチバチにやってくれ。
Slightly, little bit of shoulders, yeah.
ちょっと肩同士当てたりとか、ちょっと。
Yeah, you are a little bit.
いやもうちょっと
彼の Don't ask for collisions, lady.
台無しにしたくないんで、そうですね。あんまり接触とかないように。
You make it sound like you're like, oh, we can touch shoulders. You can collide a bit. No.
Work of the season, so no collisions,
Okay, no, of course not. I was not suggesting that at all. I was
just sounded like it.
楽しくしてほしいだけなんです。Right.
Anyway, I think we've tortured them enough with questions. Yeah.
Let's go back to Tom.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sasha. Thanks to Jules there as well. So Jose Serrano in furious form. Let's not forget 5 points was the advantage that he had going into this one.
盛り上がるには違いないけどね、確かに。
So far, look at this. 41 points he now has at the top of the table. So a 15-point swing going into it with 24 left on the board.
Yeah, a bit more of a reaction that time, wasn't there, Tom? He was a bit more, you see him a bit more out of breath. He's definitely won this there, but 2 wins so far. Can he make it a clean sweep in the Grand Final?
でも宮園2位可能性あるよ。
Miyazono or Gallo or Drummond to dethrone Jose Serrano.
If Drummond doesn't get caught up in an accident or collision, then
certainly does. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one is going to work out because it is not
2 to 6 is still kind of, or 2 to 5 is still unpredictable. Yeah. And also, Grand Final has double the points, right? しかもあれでしょ、ポイント2倍でしょ、最後。
1
位はまああれだとして、2位以降はまだわかんない。
Yeah, I mean, there's something there. I mean, there's definitely the podium up for grabs. Second and third is by no means settled at this point. Even Sasaki, to say on the outside chance there, could have a chance to do that.
Yep, absolutely right. So there, the grand
Unless
final
Serrano
is
gets
get
5th
underway.
or below.
Let's go down to Jules then and catch up with Igor Fraga.
Ooh, they have the actual card here.
I'm now joined on the floor by the Super Formula driver, Igor Fraga.
Fraga! イケメン。
Kind of cool to hear that, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously you would understand what these drivers up here are kind of feeling now. But we thought rather than, you know, give them some advice that they won't pay attention to right now because they're focused, we thought it'd be really cute to show just how long you've been into racing for. So I spoke to
Is he from like the actual, like
and she sent me
the real racing field?
Videos to show them.
Oh wow.
Oh, he is. あ、かわいい。小さい頃の映像。Man, Sarabretto, since learned how to drive before he even learned how to walk at this point.
なんか僕のレースキャリアをちょっと振り返るというか、なんか僕のお母さん、家族が送ってくれたグランツーリスモを昔からプレイしてた動画とか、
日本語うまいな。
ちょっと
ずっと日本にいたもんね。
今年のスーパーフォームランの結果も踏まえてちょっと自分の
those graphics look pretty cool.
歴史というかを見せてるものみたいです。はい。
It ages really well.
Your mum sent me like a whole Google Drive of photos. There's a lot.
Google Drive of photos.
So she had this kind of always like how can I say? She was always filming everything. So since when I was
I'm glad he's confident enough to show all these pictures and videos. If it was me, I'd be dying in embarrassment right now.
You know, there was a Brazilian TV here in Japan, so they were sending those videos to them, and they were doing the news about my races and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a bunch of things documented since karting and.
Well, it's lovely to have you here.
I feel like, Mom, delete that Google Drive right this instant.
Yes.
But let's throw up to Tom and Jimmy and get this grand final underway.
Yep, cheers, Jules. Thank you to Igor Fraga there as well. Great to catch up with him. Great to see him playing Gran Turismo when he was a wee lad.
Do you reckon
he was a wee lad?
Seeing a random picture of him as like a boy there, but yeah, I admired the driving style too. Lunged it in, definitely smashed the guy out of the way.
The Jimmy Broadbent School of Driving.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, grand final time. One last race in 2025 to get underway for you. Looking forward to this one. Red Bull X 2019, Nürburgring 24-hour layouts, 3 different tyre compounds, 7 laps. Identical circumstances
from
to what we had in
Brazil.
2024, but of course
Speaks
very,
very good
different in terms
Japanese.
of the championship
あ、
picture
日
going
系ブラ
into
ジル
this
人
one.
3
How
世
do
か。
you see
は
it
いはい
playing
はい
out?
はいはい。
Such a difficult
だから
circuit
日本語あんなにうまい
to
んだ。
get strategy in place for him. And we know the vast majority of the track is quite hard to overtake. So the idea really is just to have clean air. You don't be fighting round here or swabbling because that
Tire strategies.
increases your race time. You've got to think
Soft,
far
medium,
ahead.
hard.
So tire strategy here, quite rich in possibilities here.
I feel like everyone goes for soft. Is it just me?
Nearly 10 seconds a lap slower than the
Can someone
racing
explain to
soft.
me
So
how that
the hard
changes?
tire
Like,
is definitely lava. There is strategy possible.
is hard just like hard tire strategies just like one of those things where you don't have to change your tires that often because they're hard, or
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see
soft
how
is
it
the
all
fastest
works
tire,
out
yeah.
for the drivers. Of course, as we said, same circumstances as to what we had for the 2024 World Finals, when of course Takuma Miyazono went on
hard is
to
the most durable,
become champion once
Okay,
again
more grip.
in the Nations
やっ
Cup.
ぱそういう
Have a
こと
look
ね。
at this,
Okay,
just to
okay.
guide you through exactly how it all broke down here 12 months ago.
And soft is one of those where you have to switch tires midway, right? So Amsterdam.
Go racing. It's lights out and we are underway for the grand final of the Nations Cup in 2024 here at the Nürburgring.
もうおなじみの名前じゃんもう。半分以上。All the names on these past finals, it's over half of it are like the same people. Lots of familiar names. Yo, did I just see Drummond cutting Serrano? That happened last year or what?
He's looking at it. Oh, it does. In the chicane, does at the inside, slows them all up though. So close to taking victory. It's going to be a big upset here indeed.
Yo, it's so different from the current situation. Whoa. Chance は全然ある。ただ今のところやばいね、本当に。That trophy looks cool.
Well, I think my vocal cords have just about recovered.
I'm still trying to figure out what it is, though.
Winning predictions, Takuma Miyazono.
Wow, Miyazono人気あんな。
lion's share of the votes.
Yeah, we see this. It's just a huge amount there. I mean,
maybe it's because it's in Japan.
I admire you.
今、まあね。今日本でやってるからね。それもあるかも。
Serrano, of course, our leader right now, only 15%.
It's also, you know, Fukuoka this year.
Yeah,
so.
I have to say, it does seem not
He
like
did
a
win
foregone
last
conclusion
time,
for
so.
Jose Serrano, because of course it is double points for this, the grand final. But I have to say, given his form that we've seen from him so far tonight, it is looking very, very positive for the Spaniard. That is the trophy
the hometown
that
field.
They all want to
Home
be
field.
holding
Home
aloft
that
at the end of this evening. 24 points on offer for this grand
like
final, and you can see the competitors.
I need to figure out what that statue, that trophy
Jimmy,
is.
just put us in the cockpit here. What are the drivers thinking at this point of view?
I mean, it's a long race. 7 laps doesn't sound like much, but it's a good.
The course is long, right?
With these X2019s, and these cars are fast. They demand a lot of concentration.
7 laps.
Getting that strategy right in your brain, getting your action plan down before the start is kind of essential. But of course, one of the big properties of being a racing driver is your ability to adapt. So it's a tough place to be if you're one of those drivers.
And take off, Mike.
Certainly is. Well, Jose Serrano, as you can see, is going to be starting this one on pole position with Miyazono alongside on that front row. Gallo and Yura, then Drummond and Sasaki, Barbara and Karatza, De Bruyne and Inestrosa, and then Samuel Cardinal in
It's insanely long.
position. 15 points the advantage that Jose Serrano has with 24 left on the table. And the Red Bull
Can't believe it's already been an hour and a half.
Is the machine that the drivers will be piloting. 816 horsepower.
Oh, look at
with
that wheel.
650 kilograms of weight. It's
Yo,
fast,
it looks like
aerodynamic,
looks so
and it's a
sci-fi. I love
very
it.
tricky car to control on the limit.
Especially around a circuit with curbs about the height of the car. Don't be touching those in that thing when you find yourself going to space. Not in a good way.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna pilot like a
Serrano, he's good in these cars.
a robot that's going to space, pretty much.
It's a very different.
F1 steering wheels are like that.
Of course, Miyazono waiting kind of the favourite last year. Serrano, we saw a couple of penalties, caught up in some things that weren't really in his control. So the race can go away from you if you're not careful there. But you have to think the momentum behind him now must feel quite different going into this race this year for him.
It is interesting, isn't it, how the sort of tables have turned. Serrano, as you say, on imperious form
Ura's
so far here today, no question about that. Paul Yura, his compatriot on the other side.
Yura, excuse me.
A little bit messy and a bit scrappy on a couple of other occasions. Anyway, we're not far away then. Let's get ready to get the grand final underway for the Nations Cup.
もう椅子もっと大きくしないとダメなんじゃないの
It is just about time to start the grand final, and as we were saying, it's double points, so it's still anything can happen.
ダブルポイントラスト何が起きてもおかしくありません最高のレースを見たい方は拍手を
I'm ready, the drivers are ready, this is the last race of the year in the series, let's go!
Thumbs up.
Go! 行きましょう
カメラに映るの大好きマンがおもろくてThis girl next to him is probably like, oh, stop it! Stop it! It is a good crowd though. Yeah. いいオーディエンスだ。あー、かっけ。This does feel so global. The world champion. Is that a... Is he walking? Is that a person? I'm still confused. Finals! Nürburgring. Sorry. I will not try to pronounce
2025 to
places
crown our
anymore.
Nations Cup World Champion. And the man who has won 2 races so far here today is starting on pole position. Jose Serrano, the Spaniard. 15 points the advantage he has with 24 left on the table. Can he convert it into a second Nations Cup world title?
Really?
The outgoing champion potentially lines up on the front row of the grid with Valerio Gallo heading the second row and Paul Europe company alongside, who's been somewhat in the wars so far today.
I love how blue your car is.
The Frenchman, and he's joined by Takuma Sasaki in
P6.
Next up on the grid is Guy Barbara, the Australian, who made some good progress from where he started in that second race. He's got Adriano Karatza for company.
They're all
then it's
themed
Kai
after
De Bruyne
their
lining up in 9th position, who's
their country flags.
The office so far. Ankelen Estrosa completes it with P10, and the grid is rounded out by Samuel Cardinal, the Canadian driver, in 11th place. Now, of course, we have 3 different compounds of tyre, and the top 4 starting on the softs, the rest are on mediums and hards.
Yeah, I mean, expected really. We tend to see the drivers hurry up the grid, go on those soft tyres and try and break away, but the last race here of 2025, all to play for here in the Nations Cup. Jose Serrano leading the field. He'll love that. We said before, he likes leading from the front. He's proved that already today in 2 races. What must be going through his head right now?
Absolutely, a lot of pressure on that young man's shoulders. welcome Miyazono.
Well, see, he is so tall. His seat is arranged to be a little bit more behind everybody else.
It's going to be a fairly tall ask for the Spaniards. Sorry, for the Japanese driver. Let's wait and see with the Spaniard, of course, lining this one up on pole position. Valerio Gallo's been on great form so far this weekend as well. Let's see how the Italian can turn things around.
How is the Italian going to turn things around?
For one final time in 2025, we go racing as the grand final for the Nations Cup is underway. Jose Serrano leads them across the line with Miyazono, Gallo and Polyphony for company. Into the braking zone, we see Miyazono lunging his way up the inside of Serrano. A bit too late though, and not quite enough for him to attack and take the position away, with Gallo looking for a move on the inside, but not quite able to make it as well. So Serrano it is that leads from Miyazono, from Gallo as we come through the first part of the opening lap.
The car snaked down through the Grand Prix version of the circuit here. Everyone just, I think, figuring out what they want to do, where they are, what their competitors' strategies are at the moment, of course. Through the hairpin at the bottom and now flat out back up the hill through the Michael Schumacher S. Easily flat in these X2019 machines, even with the dirty air here, as you then get through the last part of this GP circuit. This feels like child's play in comparison to what's coming next. The North side for the Northern Loop, where, well, really, where you become a proper driver.
Absolutely, a lot of time for things to change in this race. But coming through onto the Nordschleife, it's a very different circuit compared to this Grand Prix layout, Jimmy, as we mentioned earlier. It's so one the line through there, one at a time. You can't really overtake, so you have to get it done in this part of the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, you can overtake. There are places to do it, but the track narrows up considerably as you come onto this part of the track. You can see now, and of course the curves extremely high here. These things are glued to the ground. Touch a curve at speed, and this thing's super easy just to eject yourself into the wall there.
Such a broad view.
For breaking through the section of Hastags back here. See Euro there flirting with the curve on the right-hand side. Just the speed for it is ridiculous. It really is. But
green-headed
overtaking opportunities here. He's come up towards blue class, getting the drop. Miyazono
is it that much more greener than other places?
Serrano already 1.1 seconds up the road. Look at that. Amazing start from Jose.
Brilliant, exactly what he was expecting to do.
Oh no, Gallo's coming in.
Gallo's coming in. The inside line as we come through the left hand of Miyazono, just deciding not to fight that one too much at this opening stage of the race.
It's still the beginning, it's still the beginning.
There. So I think maybe sensing the pace of Gallo, or just saying, I don't want to fight too much. Speaking of fighting, Polyphony don't care. He's up into third place. Big dive from the Spaniard there. Not willing to give up on this title just yet, but Gallo now has been charged with leading or trying to get onto the back of Serrano. He's come through the foxhole now, up the top here, through into Adenau fourth. Really technical part of this circuit here.
Forest? Really? It's a public toll road?
Spin the rear wheels in this thing, and on that soft tyre, they're going to try and make this tyre last couple of laps. They can't afford to spin the wheel to scrub the front tyres. It's all about precision.
Super difficult.
And that's the thing as well, you've got to be very careful
with the name Hell on it, I can imagine,
aggressive on it, you decide to go an extra lap. I mean, that's different if you're competing at somewhere like Spa or the circuit you'll build up, but we've seen here tonight already. But here at the Nürburgring, of course, it's a very big circuit. You can't really afford to take that gamble. You've got to be very planned.
No, if you have a mistake here, you go on the grass. There is no runoff. You just go straight into that barrier. And it's never a small crash at the Nürburgring. So these guys will have that in their heads to come down to the midpoint of the circuit, down towards the town of Adenau. You can just see it there in the background.
Love a bit of curry burst on the right-hand side. You can get in the restaurant.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, you learn to avoid that after a little while. But up through the hill now towards Bergwerk, when Niki Lauda had his huge crash a long time ago now. But this is another spot where you can kind of use the toe up the hill and try and pull past someone. Serrano still edging that gap, 1.4 seconds now.
In these cars,
with Miyazono,
specifically,
because
the window is so big.
It didn't feel like it, given the elevation, the bumps, and where the car turns here. But the aero of this car forces it into the ground, keeps that tyre contacting the road.
1.4 seconds.
Serrano 200 mile an hour up here. It's gone towards the mid curve. Is it flat out in these cars?
Look at Euro, he is all over the back of Valerio Gallo like a bad rash here, isn't he? Just trying to find his way through, but there's not really a gap to do so. At the moment, that's the problem with this part of the circuit. As Jimmy said, it narrows up so much, and unless you're going to send it through on the inside, you can cost yourself more time, cost yourself a position, and maybe
how the hell is he already this far? I have no clue.
Carousel, we go. You can see why
it's just such a clean driving line,
yeah. A bit of drive on the exit of that corner, and might leave him vulnerable to an attack here from Takuma Miyazono.
Yeah, really easy to sort of pull out the carousel there, and you lose a lot of time when that happens. Up the Hoak, now the highest point of the circuit, now back downhill. But I always say it, we commentate here or watch one of these races. This last third of the track is probably the greatest stretch of racetrack in the world. The flow is just
first is pretty much set, but 2, 3, 4.
All that aero,
we still don't know.
The corners come up sooner than you can deal with it.
I'm surprised there's a 50 gap between 4 and 5 though.
And Gallo, you can see
4
he likes
seconds?
it.
Really?
The gap down to 8/10 of a second there. That's what that looks like. So what Gallo's trying to do here is get in the 6-spin range before we get to... Oh, mistake from Serrano.
Yeah.
Big open. So Gallo, he gets up to the grass and trying to avoid him. He's off too. Oh, and Yura and Gallo spins. Oh, this is what I was talking about.
Serrano
you get onto the grass here. See Mick Hazal there reacting to that head in his hands.
This is why you never know.
What a shame for Valerio. Gallo
Anything can happen in these races.
Up ahead. You can't just send it into the grass.
Oh, Galloもダメだったか。
goes away there.
Yeah, we need to see another replay of that, don't we, really? And pick the bone to it from a different angle.
Combo, yeah, only takes one mistake.
Leads. Serrano's into second, Miyazono's into
Gallo.
third, so we've gone from a four-way fight down to a
replay of that, what?
And Gallo, the big loser.
I wasn't able to fully comprehend what happened just now.
Too impatient. Courtesy of the mistake that we saw being made there from Jose Serrano. The upshot is now that these three drivers, as they come onto the Dottinger Hill for the first time, are all nose-to-tail with one another. Yura, the driver, who, of course, is got a hole being made in the air in front of him.
I do think that, like,
now alongside as we go side by side with each other.
A mistake from Serrano is probably because
and into the lead
for the first time today, someone was within less than a second behind him.
What it has done with Kylian Drumont, etc., has brought them
having someone that close to you can be a lot of pressure.
That might prove to be
wow, Ura might actually overtake him.
Time for those drivers because, of course, they've just lost a bit of time that they would have otherwise.
And he's back, I know.
Towards the end of this first lap.
I didn't even realize he's back already.
I think from Ura.
Double spin,
here's the replay. Let's try and find out what happened there. So Serrano, he was looking a bit sketchy. Just touched the grass on the way in. Goes into the ice curb. Car gets sideways. Here comes Gallo. He tries to go around the outside. The road falls away here. Once he goes onto the grass, not the best angle there, even to see.
Okay, I see what happened.
Panic there from Serrano. That's the first crack in the armour there, I think. And here's Gallo trying to go around outside, and he knows straight away it's over. Look at that big size. What a shame for Valerio.
It was definitely an attempt.
But I can imagine he was saying a few of those words. A disappointment there for Valerio. Gallo really great run from the Italian up until this point, but it's not over yet. Still plenty of time left.
I just realized we're finally in the second lap.
There is Takuma Miyazono, top left of your picture. Pol Yura in the bottom left of your picture. And Miyazono again just playing the patient game then here. Serrano's now got all the hard work to do all over again here, Jimmy. Has he? 1.5 seconds at one point of the first lap in his pocket. Sort of came down a little bit with Valerio Gallo now closing down. But he's not in as comfortable position as he could otherwise have been.
No, I mean,
I didn't realize it's that easy to spin out.
Pressure. Maybe it's feeling it now. This is a circuit where, I mean, it's such high concentration when you find yourself making mistakes. Here's a clearer view of what happened. Here's Gallo. So, see Serrano in front. We make a go to the outside.
You see Serrano just wiggling over there.
Car gets away from him. I mean, these Red Bull X2019s have a lot of grip until you get onto the grass, and they have nothing.
Yeah, that's the problem, is they are on a knife edge, aren't they? And that's the thing with the
Too much speed.
They're very aerodynamic dependent, so as soon as you get out of that sort of aero range, you get onto the grass, you upset the balance. If you have a snap of oversteer, it's very hard to save it, because when they're on the limit of adhesion like these cars are, around corners such as this, you can turn them around with your little finger, basically, because there's just nothing to them. And when you get incidents like we saw there with Serrano and Gallo, it's a lot easier to do it than you might happen to imagine. The upshot is now Valerio Gallo's got a hell of a
this is one of those games where you do not want to touch grass.
Guy Barbara in 6th position. You can see in terms of the soft tyre as well, of course, it's used a lot of the useful shelf life. So the soft tyre runners are going to be coming at the end of this lap. Let's see how this one is going to work out then. Kylian Drumont, what's it, 7.4 seconds off the back of them, so it's okay for these top three at the moment. Nothing really for them to worry about. It's not like the medium top runners are sort of bearing down on them for now. It's nothing too concerning at this stage.
There's a downside for leading Serrano there, as you use more fuel than anybody else.
Do your best. You can sandwich yourself between the two speeds.
If they all boxed as they were now, he would come out behind both of these guys. So
get into that sandwich.
He's chosen to go strong, to lead for now. but I just wonder if that for this race is going to be ideal for him. But to be honest, Serrano doesn't need to win this race. It'd be nice for him to win it, of course, and have a Grand Slam here. I don't think we've had a Grand Slam since Nick was out.
You can really feel the speed in this perspective.
It's been a long time, so if he can do that here, that would be ridiculous. But ultimately, he doesn't need to win this race to walk away with the Nations Cup championship.
I'm surprised there's a big gap between 3 and 4. Yeah, look at that. 6.8-second gap.
That big amount of understeer through that right-hander, and it's just cost him a few tenths of a second or so. He's starting to drop back, not out of the range.
It can only be this fast when
now
it's
beginning to push on a little bit more. Half a second or so, 1.1 seconds he was up to, and is now up to for Takuma Miyazono. So why is he losing touch here between Jose Serrano and Paul Ura? They're just pushing on a bit more.
He just made a mistake. He made quite a big mistake there.
He made a
coming out of Adlau, and he did that. He lost the slipstream.
I didn't even realize that he lost the slipstream.
Ura currently enjoying the benefit of being close to back to Serrano. Basically, like a free. It feels like a free.
The benefit of being close to Serrano, yeah.
Draft. It really is a massive effect, especially in these cars that are so aero dependent.
今の解説で言ってたスリップスチームをミスって
This is where Serrano was weak
ちょっとミスっちゃったからこうなっちゃった
And this Paul Ura thinking about maybe making a move here, but we've seen Paul try and overtake some people, and Serrano wide. He misses the chicane. Did he let Ura through there to try and maybe conserve some fuel? They're still going side by side, so
maybe it's the brotherhood. Maybe it is. Like, did he let him?
I wonder, as you say, if it is just a case of trying to save fuel. They're going to be coming in at the end of this lap. It's allowed Miyazono right back into the picture. 1.1 seconds off the back of them a few corners ago, and now he's right on the tail of Jose Serrano then here. So now
how stable Serrano's driving is, I wouldn't be surprised if that was on purpose.
7 tenths of a second.
Miyazono も近づいてきた。近づいてきた。
the circuit. Ura and Serrano under investigation. So they have a collision that we sort of just caught the tail end of going through the carousel.
I think it's tactical, yeah.
I was going to say before, Ura's hit the back of the people before. Here we go. So we're on board with Paul Ura into the carousel. That's it.
Serrano's deep. There was a bit of contact there, but
yeah,
Serrano had already made the mistake.
So on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's sorting itself out.
Yeah, Ura there just trying to keep his calm and focus, really, to be honest. Now in the lead of this race and trying to extend the advantage over Serrano. I suppose the one advantage for Paul Ura. Maybe he can afford to do it a bit more because Serrano, of course, has expended that bit more fuel. He's got
I did not realize that.
Fewer in the tank compared to Ura, and I wonder if that might come back to bite Serrano a bit later on.
Yeah, but the point is, Ura trying to spread that gap here is the worst decision. It's for nothing because now they're in the draft and he's just used more fuel for nothing. So
even when they're both from Spain, the competition does not change.
Serrano there just driving back through in a straight line, using that switch, using that toe. Here comes Miyazono. He might try and get both of them here for a laugh. You can see just the gaps there.
Recovering from that.
Huge straight here.
Miyazono 攻める。
For the drivers, but not for these guys.
Yeah, he's in the middle of the sandwich.
Okay. Down the straight. Miyazono up in second place. They're all going to be piling into the pits here, Tom. But the question is, onto what time?
Well, that's the thing. Surely they're all going to have to follow one another in terms of the strategy going on.
1, 2, 3. Oh, here's the pit crew.
Would be the
pit crew. You better not screw up.
Hard tyre or the medium tyre. Yeah, they're all going for the mediums, aren't they? Surely at this mid stage of the race.
Better not be fumbling with those tires, yeah.
Right at the very end. The idea being that they can build up as much of a gap as they can over the rest of the first 2 phases of it. See how it all works out then. So Serrano and Miyazono, and Serrano's actually decided to be the outlier of that. He's got the hard tyre in the middle stint of this one.
If you want to at a certain
now
point.
for him what he can do on this hard tyre. What he needs to do really is keep in touch with Miyazono and Ura because he's going to be on a slower competitive tyre. If he can limit the damage as much as possible in this middle phase of the race and keep within distance, then he'll be in a great position to attack in the closing stages of it.
So Serrano has gone to the hard tyre.
Oh no, I think they're all in pit. They're all in pit. Never mind.
Whereas Miyazono and Ura both took a good chunk of fuel, so they can push a little bit harder. There's a gap. Serrano, of course, on that hard tyre is it's about 10 seconds a lap slower than the soft tyre. About 6
everyone needs to pit at some point.
So really interesting. What else I found interesting is why I didn't realise this until now. Basically, is that when you select your tyre, you go onto it, it becomes
they
visible
select.
through it.
Okay, I see. They select their different tire afterwards.
Second to show their tyre to each other. So like, right, we're in a fight here, and they both went separate ways. So really interesting.
You cannot believe the amount of mental arithmetic that's going on for these drivers.
Serrano's sticking to hard,
they
though.
are literally thinking at 100 miles an hour whilst they're doing a couple of 100 miles an hour.
Well, this is the thing about sim racing, right? I think where maybe these guys don't get their credit is they're not only drivers, they're also their strategists, their own engineer as well. They're checking things like weather. They're doing everything.
I'm assuming the pit timing is also like a strategy, right?
This thing around, in my opinion, one of the most challenging circuits in the world.
So they're their own performance coaches as well, give themselves a little rub down after the race.
Well, I mean, what they do in the hotel room is completely up to them, Tom, but we won't cry.
That 3 out of 7 we're on then. Kilian Drumont it is now that leads the race. You can see the top 4 runners are yet to pit at this stage of the race. There's Drumont, Sasaki, Barbara and Karatza. They're all out of position. So Serrano, he's your effective race leader at this point. He's made the pit stop, but he's in a nice bit of clear air.
Really
20 seconds he's got over Adriano Karatza. That's working out quite nicely for him there so far. 5.5 seconds though is the gap between himself and Takuma Miyazono. Now, if we were on a traditional circuit that was about 5, 6, 7 kilometres long, that's not a gap that could come down over the course of a couple of laps. Here,
I guess it's just the flag colours just look very much like Pepsi.
Given the length of this circuit. And, well, Takuma Miyazono sitting there in 6th position. Will be right on the gearbox of Jose Serrano, I'm sure, before too long. And, of course, just to remind you, Serrano did not take any fuel in this first pit stop of the race. On board we ride meanwhile with Takuma Sasaki. So he and Drumont are up 4 places from where they started. They're on the medium tyre, so presumably they'll be coming in
also a strategy?
at the end of this lap.
He's not taking full fuel, like supposed to make your car lighter or something?
Or the soft. But they're involved in a battle for position, really. It's not a battle for the podium.
A lighter car? Also, it does change
it is, but like relative to everybody else, once the pit stops all work out. Come through in towards this right-hander. Such a fast and frightening part of the circuit. I mean, you can say that about pretty much every corner on the Norris Slifer, couldn't you, really?
It really is.
No feels unhardy.
The second one of the racing world here. Going to go back down towards, and now Drumont now leading this race. He led this race last year at a similar sort of point as well. Alternative strategy though. We know Kilian's good round here. Kilian's good in his X2019s as well. Sasaki doing very well to hold on there. Look who's in the background. Guy Barbara, this guy, man, he's always there, isn't he? He's always around. Just never quite manages to break through, but he is catching these two, only 2 seconds behind.
It can't be discredited how hard Guy Barbara's had to work just to get qualified for the Gran Turismo World Series in 2025. And of course, we've got the same 12 drivers over the course of all of our events so far this season. So a credit to him.
Position 変わるよ、きっとのあれで。It's all under in their calculations, I'm assuming. They're just that confident they can come back up.
They're in 3rd position at the moment. Once the pit stops all work out, they'll be dropping down the order a little bit.
Yeah,
but for now, we can just sit there and enjoy
we're still in the halfway point.
In front of him, this battle for the race lead between Kilian Drumont and Takuma Sasaki as they head their way in towards the carousel. This is where we saw the drama between Serrano and Yura a few laps ago. On board we ride here with Takuma Sasaki then. This is the view he's got in front of him of Kilian Drumont. Just listen to the throttle as we're coming through this part of the circuit. Look how smooth he has to be in terms of the inputs.
He had a couple of goes of that though. What you maybe don't see about this part of the course,
all these gear shifting,
just how cambered it is. It's so important to put the car in the right part of the road. Otherwise, your car almost magically understeers. It's something that comes with experience for sure. These guys have that in spades. Drumont there, I think, maybe it's a little bit quicker for this part of the circuit as we come into Bridgesham here, up towards the ice curve. Also in the wet, so it's rainfall through here. You can use the curve on the right a little bit, but not too much more, as Serrano found out.
Even though this is a simulation, I still feel scared for them.
Small lift now, it's come up through the Fanart S. One of the scariest parts of it, the road falls away from you. You have to trust in the grip of the tyre and the downforce of the car as we come up now towards the Kleiner carousel. Very tricky corner this one. Anyone who's on mission 34 will know that. And Drumont there, suffering. I've been in that barrier so many times in sim. Really hard to get that corner right. And now this is where Sasaki really wants to be. This is the prime seat going down the dot into Hurley, one of the longest straights in motorsport anywhere. You don't want to be leading going here. You want to be where Sasaki is. You get a huge toe down the straight. It's just free power, free speed.
300 キロ。
nicely here for Takuma Sasaki.
これが300キロの速さ。
He's not to save fuel at this point. Played the longer game in this race. He's not quite alongside Kylian Drumont. He's just sitting there in the slip-through. So I think he is deciding for that sort of smarter strategy here, maybe saving a couple of litres of fuel, which might prove to pay dividends when it comes down to the pit stops, because it's about 2 litres a second in terms of the total refuelling time. So everything you can gain will prove to be a benefit later on in the race. Out of the final turn we go then, in towards the pit lane and into the box for Kylian Drumont and for Takuma Sasaki. Now, are they going to diverge in terms of strategy? Look at the fuel difference there between them. About 4 litres is how it's changed. Meanwhile, Polyura and Takuma Miyazono, they're side by side. I was keeping an eye on the gap with Jose Serrano. 5.5 seconds it was. It still stayed at about 5 seconds, and despite being on the slower compound of tyre there for Jose Serrano,
refuel them faster.
He's not lost too much time relative to everybody else. It's working out quite nicely for him so far. And the top 4 all in for the hard tyres and all taking fuel on board as well.
I find it interesting how they're like split into 2 teams on when they go to the pit.
Only really one lap, I think.
Here comes Serrano and everybody else.
Another lap on that tyre there. I thought we'd come straight in and get rid of that. So the medium tyre obviously not as good as informed. Serrano's last lap is 6:54 compared to Polyura 6:58.
Well, if you sorry, Jim, if you're new to the GT World Series and you're wondering about tyres, the hard tyre, it's the most durable tyre, but it offers the least grip. The medium somewhere in the middle, and the soft tyre, of course, is the quickest tyre because it's softer, it's grippier, but it wears out a lot quicker. So Serrano here, as you say, Jim, he's going for the hard compound of tyre. He's playing a different strategy now at this point, which I guess in reverse of that is going to then mean
that fell out of the Spanish sandwich.
Medium tyres are a bit fresher towards the end of the race.
We still don't know. Could still go back in there.
Not as fast as Juro Miyazono, but he's fast enough to, as you say, to put himself in a good position for his final stint. Anyway, on board with Valerio Gallo, recovering, of course,
5 and 6.
At the start of the
5
race.
and 6.
Valerio lots of the mid-ring. Drifting quite fast around here.
Overtake happening.
Drumont, easy. That's the tyre advantage right there. At the inside, the Drumont can do nothing but just allow the moves to be made.
I don't think Serrano has gone in the pit yet, right?
Look who's caught him. That gap was 3 seconds for their box. Now, Guy Barbara right in the back of Kylian Drumont.
Yeah, he's been driving really well.
I don't think he's gotten fuel yet.
Around a pretty competitive lap time.
He has? Never mind, he did. Never mind.
Tyre and fuel strategy at that point. So, as you say, an opportunity knocks here for maybe a top 5 finish, and that'll be a lovely way to bookend what has been a tough season for the Australian driver coming into this event. He only had 1 point on the board, so he's adding a few more to his tally, this guy Barbara, but let's see how many more he can add here in the grand final, which just reminds you again is double points. 24 is your total. That's the maximum that you can get for this one. At the moment, Jose Serrano has won both races, has scored a maximum of 24 points in both of those, and could be set to add more to his tally and absolutely dominate the Nations Cup here tonight.
Serrano, he just set a purple sector.
I'm curious of what's happening between 2 and 3 right now, though.
On that hard compound tyre.
The gap is very small.
Hard tyre is actually, I don't think it is 10 seconds lap slower, you know.
No, well, it's certainly not with Jose Serrano. That much is for sure. He's just driving so well, and the hard tyre is the one where you have to limit the damage. We know that. We've seen it so many times with drivers. They flick it onto the hard tyre, and then they really struggle. Sasaki's just about to allow Valerio Gallo through. He's got the indicator on, saying, pull to the left, go and overtake us. I'm not going to fight this one there too much. And Gallo goes through and up into 4th.
Now, funnily enough, if you leave that at the ring and you indicate it that way to points, as opposed to which way I'm going, you get told off.
Gallo's being very,
Tut, Sasaki.
Very clean right now.
Learn your NLS regulations.
I'm sure that'll come in useful. Jose Serrano, you can see the live points rankings on your screen at the moment. It will give him a 19-point advantage over Polyura. If the checkered flag was thrown now, there's still plenty of time for this race to adapt and evolve. Miyazono there in 3rd place. He'll be right on the coattails of this one. So Valerio Gallo, who's in 4th position, he is in a good place here to move his way up, possibly into the top.
You can't let somebody else get inside the Spanish sandwich, no.
It would be 37 points if the checkered flag fell now, so we'd have a 3-4 deficit to Takuma Miyazono to overhaul for 3rd.
He's got about 8 seconds to make up to do that time right now because of that spin earlier on. So the thing is, he is catching. But is he catching quick enough? So it's going to have to be a hell of a stint here from Gallo to try.
You can't let Italy. You can't let Italy get inside there.
Jose Serrano looking cool, calm, and collected. This man 3.5 laps away from his.
Seriously though, the Spain dominance is insane.
Cup, of course, part of Team Spain for 2023 when we had that format, but I really
Serrano's
do
fuel is
think
looking really low, really.
He must be having those thoughts now, must be starting to think about it.
So if we look at Takuma Sasaki,
ガスにやばくなってきた。
all the drivers who are sort of in that
どこで見れるのそれ。
as it were at the moment, how do you turn your race around at this point? You're sort of sat there, a bit in no man's land, really, not in the podium battle, not on the fringes of the top 10. What do you do? You throw something different at it? How do you change your race and give you an opportunity to maybe fight for a podium?
How do you guys see the fuel amount?
To your plan.
14表に出た。あ、出たんだ。
You're locked in.
Gotta look closely at
all you can really do is
the placement.
Fuel is probably where you can make some dishes up in the pit lane or somewhere else, but otherwise, just drive better, go faster. As my good friend Coyne would say, wheel harder.
On board here we are with Killian Drummond. Look at him feathering the throttle through that right-handed. The problem is these cars, of course, they're very aerodynamic dependent, and he's in the dirty air all the way through this.
But I don't want Sasaki to be overtaken.
He runs his way through this medium speed set of corners, so you just won't have the same grip as you would do for Takuma Sasaki, who of course is up front there running in clean air.
You can see there Sasaki making a couple of little mistakes through there, and they are little mistakes, and they're getting there wide.
Little mistakes.
This allows Drummond to get a little bit closer, not troubling a lot of these apexes of Sasaki. I think he's just hanging on for dear life through it. I think it feels like, to be honest, when you drive through here. But Drummond...
Yeah, it does look like it's getting darker in the game, too.
This section where it's so fast, almost acts as a straight. I know it sounds silly, but still getting the toe. You're just having to try and keep the car facing the straight away, keeping full gas as you come down to this next section of corners. The gap is 8 tenths per second. That is close enough for a draft down the straight.
So cool.
Drummond then just up in front there is Takuma Sasaki.
He's still there.
Yeah, it certainly is Guy Barber. He's not hanging about this. He's driving like he's
the sun is getting lower, I know.
In this race, old Guy Barber.
They have to make that part realistic too, huh?
Run, as we've said a few times there now. And he's right on the coattails, closing up onto the coattails of those drivers in front. Look at Serrano in terms of the fuel, 2 litres left. It's going to be close, isn't it? He's going to be surely lifting and coasting here at this point.
Oh yeah, his fuel is so low.
Right on board and get an idea of the actual speed. Let's have a look at the gap between them. Was it 5 seconds as it sits now? I think he might just be able to sort of coast it to there. But it's tight there. Very, very fine margins for Jose Serrano, and he just makes it in with 0 litres left. That is as close as you like for the Spaniard. I tell you what, he'll be clenching his way into
running
that pit
on fumes.
I thought I heard
He's in.
About that last corner, but
no, the calculation
doesn't even like he cares about that. I was here thinking it was over, but as part of the plan, man. It's like all in hand. So it's going to be a long fuel stop for Serrano.
That was
now,
close.
A longer stop because he has to now fuel from 0
すごい作戦だね、本当に。
This thing's pretty thirsty as well. Unsurprisingly, it's a lot of power, a lot of downforce to push through.
Wait until you're literally running on fumes and then you go in. Made it in time.
Look how far they're pushing down the field, down to P10.
2人すごい。
Everybody else needs to make their last stop. This is his last.
Yeah, he must have practiced a lot for that, knowing exactly when.
Where he's going to emerge in the pack as well. What you want after a pit stop like this is to emerge in
how much
clear air.
gasoline he should be using.
A car that's in front of you, costing you
and
time.
He's got a really good pit crew on top of that too.
On the majority of the Nordschleife circuit, you're going to be hemorrhaging time. Thankfully for Jose Serrano, he comes out of the pit lane.
この燃料が他の人よりかなり長い。それってなんで？理由は何？Why was that refuel so long? So long. He was smiling, yeah, no.
He's basically shrink that gap down to Samuel Cardinal as best he can on this medium
fuel by going slower and accelerating less, but he was still first.
And he'll be fine.
It seemed like that was quite a long fuel stop. I mean, I don't think he did.
Oh, I see. It was just because it was empty. Okay, I see.
With his strategy there, but it must feel like
燃料が少なかったかね。まあそうだ、確かに。燃料入れる時間がね。
I just stick a couple more liters in the car.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got it. We'll see. I mean, we all know what happened to Kai de Bruin last year, running out of fuel at the last corner, basically causing a pileup that cost Serrano a chance.
And we're going to see how Serrano comes back.
Then, so I'm sure maybe he's thinking back to that, thinking, yeah, I'll put an extra liter in just to make sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of Kai de Bruin, actually, what a disappointing
Now the rest of them have to worry about whether to refuel or not. Yeah.
Great promise with him.
Serrano min-maxing, seriously.
You kind of thought, oh yeah, okay,
that's
maybe
the definition of min-maxing.
In the World Series this year, but other than that one-off podium, which I think was in London, if memory serves me correctly, it's just not really falling in his favour. And we seem to talk about that last year as well, and again here tonight, same story.
ストレージミス、あれミスか？ストラテジーミス？そう。いやなんかある意味すごいと思うけどねあれ。
convert.
So much strategy.
It'll be a learning experience for Kai and for some of the other drivers that haven't performed as maybe they would have hoped to do so.
And everyone's getting low on
for
gas.
Now, we go back to this package. Exactly.
Yeah, kakeki yaba.
Exactly.
I didn't realize even the fuel was also like a strategy thing.
Drummond and Barbara in the background there, still on to the back of these guys. I do wonder where they're going to end up when we see the last.
Someone's going to run out of gas.
These guys on the hard compound tyres go on to the quicker compound. Will they come back at the cars in front? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, this is what we saw last year, wasn't it? Where you get drivers, they stick it on to the soft compound tyre right at the end of the race. It gives them a massive amount of performance. So let's be fair, it's been a steady race. Is being polite about it up until this point. In terms of on-track action, nothing really all that meaningful. A lot of these drivers, they're playing the long game. That's why you're not seeing Sasaki and Drummond knocking 7 bells out of each other.
I guess everyone's supposed to switch to soft towards the end.
They're on the hard tyres. They're taking that pain now. And as Jimmy's quite rightly said, they're going to be on the soft tyre at the end of this one, which could bring them right back into play. The gap between themselves and Sasaki, what's that, 5 seconds or so. Sasaki owes the soft tyre there as well. So Sasaki is going to be the one that surely is going to be in the penalty. He's only got 5.6 seconds to Valerio Gallo for that final race.
Which tyre uses like the least amount of fuel?
Gallo is going to be on the hard tyre at the end of this one. So surely you would say Sasaki would be a bit of a bet for a challenge at least for the podium if the likes of Drummond, etc. are not able to close up.
So these are crucial for this chasing pack. They have to maximise his hard tyre as much as they can anyway. Put them in the best possible position to chase at the end of this race. Sasaki still leading uphill from Drummond in the background. Barbara there as well. Good performance from the Australian driver, really doing well. Really just showing that he can be at the sharp end of the field.
I don't know if he'll be able to run away with this win, but we can only hope.
You see just cruising up to the back of Sasaki and probably just lifting a bit there, because here having that little bit.
Either way, I think even if Serrano is like, I don't. Even if Serrano doesn't get first in this round, he'll still win the tournament. I'm pretty sure.
Position leading around here for the last couple of laps.
Yeah, through the carousel we go. No tell here for 4th, 5th, and 6th place. As we said,
I just hope Miyazono gets his wish of,
as they're so close to one another,
having a really close race with Serrano,
though. To increase a little bit there with Sasaki versus Gallo up to 6.4 seconds, but you would expect that. Gallo's on the medium compound of tyre at this stage, and he's still got enough life left in it at the moment to clearly be pulling out a gap over Sasaki and the following 2 drivers. At the sharp end of this one, Miyazono and URyS separated by 7 tenths of a second. Meanwhile, Serrano, what was it, 13.5 seconds when he came into the pit lane. Now down to just over 10 seconds, so he's able to just run a nice, clean, comfortable,
this has double points. No, yes, it does have double points.
Jose Serrano, exactly what he wants to do, trying to use the undercut, effectively, the different strategy to give him more of a gap. It was only a few tenths of a second when he came into the pit lane, if you remember, for that first pit stop. So when he comes into the pits for the final time and out of it subsequently, he'll hopefully have enough of a cushion so that he's not under any threat on that final lap.
Well, we're only about a minute or so away from finding out where everyone sits after the strategies are all set and done. So there's your tyre history. Only one to do the 2 stops is Serrano. Everyone else has to box. Miyazono and URyS are now going side by side down the straight, I think, just to avoid
I don't think they need headlights yet.
And this is going to be interesting now.
Just to correct my thought, by the way, when I said Serrano coming in, I meant all the other drivers coming in for their final pit stop, because of course Serrano is in the final phase of this race. Then down the Dottinger Hill we go. Miyazono pulls alongside URyS as we come in towards the final couple of corners. URyS not fighting that one too hard. They're again just waiting for their final pit stop, which will surely be coming at the end
Serrano come back
this
incoming.
lap. They'll be putting on the hard compound of tyre.
Trying to get out of the pits faster than other racers.
All the other field, of course, have got to make their final pit stops. Look at how close it is in terms of fuel. They've got a bit more left in the tank than Jose Serrano did, but not too much.
No. So in they come.
Why did I just hear alien sounds?
Tyre all round. So
like UFO sounds. I don't know. Was I just hearing things?
They get
I just heard
rather than be the
UFO sounds in my right ear.
Race 2 laps here then will decide the winner of the grand final. We'll keep an eye on Serrano. We'll see where he ends up. He's currently going down the back straight.
I thought I just had like a
fuel going in. This will feel like a very
An
long
alien
time.
experience that was only unique to me.
2 laps needed though, much shorter than the stop Serrano had, having to fuel for that extra lap. There they go. Miyazono out, Yura out as well.
I was getting an interterrestrial message or something.
Yura, so less to play with whilst leading, but it seemed that he wanted to have track position.
I think it's working out quite nicely here then for Jose Serrano, because although he's not going to gain track position in terms of the race at the moment, he's on the medium tyre for the closing stage of this one. So let's see how he comes out into the gap. What's it, 5.9 seconds, but he's got, what, 2 laps left to play with, and he's got a quicker compound of tyre relative to Yura and to Takuma Miyazono. They're now into the final phase of this race, onto the hard compound of tyre, but all they've got to do is try and keep Jose Serrano at bay for another lap and a half. Sounds easy. In principle, it's going to be very, very tough for them to do so.
Yes, so Takuma Miyazono, the home driver here, leading the race at the moment, but for how long? Pol Euro 1.4 seconds behind on the same compound of tyre. Jose Serrano, current points leader, 5 seconds behind Pol Euro on the medium compound of tyre. Then there's a little bit of buffer between them and the soft runners. Watch out for Drummond, watch out for Sasaki, watch out for Guy Barbara. They're going to be charging in these last 2 laps. All to play for still here for the last 2 podium positions in the Nations Cup. But if
everyone switched to
stays
soft,
where he is right now,
except for the
he
top
will
3.
be champion. That will be going
Serrano's
through his
on
mind
medium.
right now, Tom. Do I push? Do I keep it safe from here? It's harder than it sounds, trust me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. In terms
Went
of
to
second and
stability
third
last
place
lap
as
with hard
well,
tires.
that will be very close. Just 3 points
Playing
in it at
safe.
the moment. If the checkered flag fell, it would be Miyazono on 49 points, 46 points there for Pol Euro. Let's have a look then at Sasaki versus Drummond. This is down the Dossigahur. Drummond on the attack against the Japanese driver as they came under the bridge. Nice and easy there between those two. Bit of contact. This
4,
is where we
5,
saw it all
6 is
kicking off
always in
here
a
12 months ago, but Drummond able to get the better of the Japanese driver and
I like the
for
sparks, me
fourth
too.
position. So a nice easy overtake there for the Frenchman as they've now made their final pit stops. Live points rankings, as you can see on your screen. So Serrano, third place would be enough for him to be crowned as the champion. Miyazono there ahead
Serrano
of
just
Pol
needs
Euro.
to keep his
So
third,
in terms of
honestly,
second and
but
third place
it'd be
in the
nice if
standings, Miyazono needs to
Miyazono still got first in
Pol
this.
Euro to be able to do that. At the moment, it's enough for the Japanese driver. What looks to be the outgoing Nations Cup champion. So we'll see how that one is going to work out. 1.5 seconds is the gap between the top 2.
A lot of home support here for Miyazono. People in the crowd with scarves and merch. I wonder where they got that from.
Serrano is gaining speed, yes.
The Japanese crowd here, definitely
catching
one of
up.
the cooler ones here. Lots of very interesting bits of supporting memorabilia created by our fans. Jose Serrano, third place right now, catching quickly Pol Euro
Run away from the
Takuma Miyazono, owing to the fact
the
it's that
Spain.
medium compound of tyre.
The
And
double
he can just push to
Spain.
the end now. That tyre's going to last completely fine. And that'll be a really freeing thought if you're Serrano. You haven't got to save, you haven't got to worry
does he
about the
do
car
it?
behind you. You can just push forward into the gap in front of you. And surely
Maジ
Pol
すごく
Euro
ない？
isn't going to
ど
fight.
んどんどんどん迫ってきて
You
る
wouldn't have thought so, but you know, this is Gran Turismo, this is the World Finals, it's the last chance you've got to do it, and will you get a bit of desperation starting to creep in? We were
Perfect
talking about
driving.
Valerio Gallo and his podium challenge. You can see he's there on the hard compound of tyre. Look at Drummond, Sasaki, Barbara. This is exactly what we were talking about a couple of laps ago. They're now closing right up on to the back of the Italian driver. And well, they've got enough time to be able to make it work. The problem is, are they going to come across him at the wrong time on the circuit? Because it's all well one thing closing up here at the North Side, but getting past is such a difficult thing to do, even despite the massive difference in performance between the hard tyres on Gallo's car and the soft tyres on Drummond, Sasaki and Barbara.
He's going to catch him in a really nice place. So just coming out of here there, he hasn't been slowed down at all, and now he's going to just get a free draft all the way up the hill. So a really ideal spot for Drummond to catch Gallo. Will Gallo defend him? We know Gallo had a spin early on. He probably knows his race isn't going to get much better than it is right now. So I wonder how hard the Italian is going to defend. Drummond just cruising up to the back then on Valerio Gallo's X2019 car, punching a hole in the air. Will he try and go for a move here from the look curve? He's getting closer and closer. Looks to the outside here. Will Gallo try and hold the position?
I feel like that's my quote.
He does. He's not going to get him for free. And they go side by side, breaking down there. But there's the soft compound tyre. Oh, and wide goes Drummond. He hits the wall. He goes wide. Oh my word! that could be it for Kylian Drummond there.
That could
Just
be
pushing too hard. Gallo defending as he's entitled to do so.
I need to see a replay of that.
Right into the wall. Well, under investigation
Right
for
into
the
the
collision
wall.
then between Drummond and Valerio Gallo. Let's see what the stewards are able to pick the bones out of with that incident. The upshot is, as Jimmy said, that could easily prove to be the end of the podium challenge. Serrano now through on Pole Euro for second place, though, meanwhile, whilst that was all unfolding behind. So Pole Euro deciding that he can't hold up Jose Serrano, his compatriot at the moment. Serrano's next target, 1.9 seconds up the road to Takuma Miyazono. Quicker combat of tyre on the Spaniard's car. He's looking good for 3 wins in 3 races here tonight in the Nations Cup.
He's still got a lap of a bit to go. Big understeer. We saw him go off here earlier on, just about gapping it back up again. Jose Serrano, look at him right now. Imagine what you must be feeling. The car is fast. You're on a quick tyre. You can see the gap to the car in front is coming down. And you know, if you keep this level for just one more lap, you are going to be the Nations Cup champion of 2025. Here he comes.
I can just feel the bondage. The bond,
we'll go back to a
bonding.
replay.
I almost said
This is
bondage. The
Serrano
bonding.
and Euro actually made a mistake. That's why it was something to get
Or no,
by.
maybe it's a mistake. I don't know.
Serrano just drives through the gap there. So yeah, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Off I go. I'm going to go chase down Takuma.
Well, we've seen a couple of mistakes from the 2 Spaniards then here tonight, and well, Pole Euro, the latest one to do so. See the headlights now illuminating the darkness. Drummond and Gallo, it's been deemed a racing incident. Right call, I feel that was. As we come down the Dottinger Hill then for the penultimate time. The gap now between Miyazono and Serrano down to a second.
Headlights
as
are
they
on.
burst their way through and into the darkness. The
second
trophy
behind.
there on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That's the one that Jose Serrano wants to be holding aloft. Second place, as we know, would be more than enough for him to be crowned as the champion, but you always want to sign off on a win, don't you? No doubt about it for Jose Serrano. When is he going to pick his moment as we come through to begin the final lap of the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series? It's Miyazono that leads from the fast-charging, medium-shod Jose Serrano. Pole Euro sitting there in 3rd place after that mistake cost him position on that final lap. The last lap that we went on, but ultimate lap of racing. And let's
Final
see
lap.
how
Oh my God,
quickly
this is so
Serrano
long.
can latch onto the back of
It's so
Takuma Miyazono
long.
and attack the Japanese driver here.
It's not over yet in the midfield either, Tom. We have Drummond
Why does this
Barbros
last
lucky they've
couple
got
laps
by
feel
Gallo and are
extra
now
long?
chasing down Pole Euro. We think that soft tyres around 10 seconds lap faster than the hard tyre, and there is a 6-second gap between Drummond and Euro. And importantly, Miyazono too, so none of these drivers are safe, bar maybe Serrano. So things can all change in the championship. It seems Serrano's in the pound seat right now, but Miyazono and Euro are both trying to make sure they get onto the podium here today. So, and they really want to charge hard on this last lap. Here is Serrano, they're getting closer and closer to the Japanese driver. This must feel great right now, just being in this position for Jose Serrano. Miyazono slow off the corner. I think it's a done deal, Tom Eric.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's in the slipstream then. Here is
him,
Jose Serrano. Wants to keep Miyazono down into the chicane. He's got the inside line. And now he takes the race lead on the final lap. Jose Serrano is through to the front of the race with just a lap to go here at the Nordschleife. As we come onto the circuit then, and now let's see how quickly Jose Serrano can pull away from Takuma Miyazono. This has been an absolute masterclass in terms of performance for the Spanish driver. Let's not forget, of course, he won the Nations Cup back in 2023 when it was a team effort back in that year, and sort of one-off, as it were. But this would be the first chance for him to be crowned individually as the Nations Cup champion. 3rd would have been enough. He didn't need to fight for 2nd and indeed the lead of the race, as we just saw, but he wants to sign off with a victory. No doubt about it, and that's exactly what he is set to do here.
So it's 5-point standings here. If Kylian Drummond can get up into 2nd place here, he will put himself onto the podium. He will knock Pole Euro or Takuma Miyazono off. So it's not over there for the last couple of podium places. Here's a replay of that move.
Don't let them do a 1-2 finish.
Must feel like a victory lap now for Jose Serrano up the inside of Takuma Miyazono. Not much resistance offered there by the Japanese driver. That had to go on. So yeah, thanks mate, I appreciate that. I know you can't really fight me. And then off he goes, sparking down the hill there towards the compression at the bottom. What a beautiful image this is.
Just a masterful strategy there from Jose Serrano.
I wouldn't mind if Drummond
just on the hard tyre, but he was calculating that, working out the fact that he was going to drop off the back, have that gap relative to the rest of the field, and just be in a nice, comfortable cushion, nice, comfortable position in the closing stages
I mean, I guess less than a second between 3 and 4,
run his own lines, run his own race, and ultimately it's that middle stint that's given him the chance of that victory because he just kept so much pace on the hard tyres relative to everybody else.
One Spaniard's pleasure, it's another one's pain. Paul Euro right now, looking in his mirror, will see this. A train of three very fast cars. Dumont, Barbara and Sasaki there taking chunks and chunks out of the guys in front. Guy Barbara up into 5th position as well there. So he's also looking to try and end off the 2025 season on a high. But the gap down to only 2.8 seconds. So Kylian Drumont, yeah, he must be thinking about that mistake he made on the last, and that cost him about a second and a half, that did. If he had not made that, he'd be with Paul Euro right now.
I suppose the thing as well is Paul Euro also made a mistake a couple of laps ago as well, didn't he? So it's funny how it all ebbs and flows. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Drumont and Barbara under investigation for a collision. We'll try and pick the bones out of that one. Not quite sure who was.
Oh my God, there's a 2-second difference between 1 and 2 already.
If anybody indeed was so. You can see Sasaki also still very much latched onto the back of Guy Barbara for 5th position there as well. In terms of the overall standings, it won't make too much of a difference for Guy Barbara. In terms of Takuma Sasaki, though, it could leapfrog him ahead of Valerio Gallo for 5th place in the standings if he's able to jump himself up the order potentially. We'll wait and see how that works out, though. We look here, though, at Kylian Drumont, who is in 4th position. What about Sasaki? Is he going to be able to attack against Guy Barbara? Side by side they run. He's got the inside line here, then, as Sasaki, but it changes to the outside lines. We flick it through the right-hander. Barbara goes deep into the corner, and Sasaki just has to wait to fight another day as Barbara holds firm for 5th place as we come into the carousel. The headlights illuminating the darkness here at the Nordschleife as the sun sets on what has been a spectacular 2025 Gran Turismo World Series. It's not over. Yeah, but Kylian Drumont is deemed at fault for the incident we saw between himself and Guy Barbara as a 1-second penalty. And is that podium challenge over then for Kylian Drumont with less than half a lap to go?
Yeah, that is huge for Drumont. That's pretty much going to just put paid to his podium chances there. It just goes to show that you have to be consistent. You can't be making these mistakes. You can't be having these contacts. And that really is a reflection of this whole series. One man who has been consistent throughout. To be fair, he made one mistake in this race, but he gathered it up very nicely. Jose Serrano leading out from the gap is 3.3 seconds. He's only got a couple more corners left and the back straight between himself and putting his hands on that Nations Cup
almost a 4-second gap already.
Takuma Sasaki then attacking against Guy Barbara, or at least trying to, again, closing up onto the back of him. This is a great little tussle that's going on for 5th position. It may not be the battle for the race win that we've seen so many times here at the Nordschleife in these Red Bull X2019s, but it's a fantastic tussle and a great example of defensive driving and also respectful driving between two long-time competitors in the Gran Turismo World Series. Through in towards the right-hander we go, on towards the Dosinger Herb for the final time, and Takuma Sasaki is going to have the advantage of the slipstream here against Guy Barbara as we come down this back straight. Meanwhile, Jose Serrano is comfortably in the Pouncies here. He's got a great cushion over the rest of the field, and what a season the Spaniard has put together. What a night he has put together in the GT World Series here in the Nations Cup. Yesterday he was crowned as the Manufacturers Cup champions for Porsche, and back in 2023 he was crowned as the Nations Cup champions as part of a team effort. But now in 2025 he will become his own champion and his own merit as Jose Serrano wins the grand final and becomes the Nations Cup champion of the world in 2025. Takuma Miyazono crosses the line in 2nd place, and Paul Euro finishes in 3rd position ahead of Guy Barbara, who gets the better of Drumont. Sasaki drops down to 6th place in the checkered flag. But what a season Jose Serrano has put together. Absolute dominations, 2 titles in 2 days here in Japan.
What else could be said? This has been Jose Serrano's year.
Amazing.
This is the guy that burst onto the scene a few years ago. He was fast but unrefined. And over the course of the last 2 years, he's found himself, he's found his confidence. And look at the results on circuit. You cannot argue with that. Hey, there is no more deserving champion for 2025 than this man, Jose Serrano.
Congratulations.
Fantastic job from Jose Serrano. What a feeling that is going to be. He is quite literally on top of the world at the end of our 2025 Gran Turismo World Series. As well as Takuma Sasaki also there celebrating with him. We just saw Paul Euro on the right-hand side of your picture. And well, Paul will be disappointed. He was in a great position going into the event here tonight, but sadly fortune has not fallen in his favour. It has very much fallen in the favour of Jose Serrano, and also he's proven to be extremely intelligent in terms of the strategy calls.
Miyazono
This
was
man
able
here,
to
the
keep
outgoing
himself
champion of
inside.
Takuma Miyazono, who we just saw a couple of
In
moments
between
ago.
the two
Well,
Spains.
what a race, what a season, what a brilliant drive from this man.
I think I've realized
Now
why
he can enjoy it in front of the crowd.
all these
here
people
in
are so
Japan as well.
multilingual.
He'll be
You need to
holding
be
that trophy
multilingual
aloft
to be able to
before
talk
too long.
amongst each other.
You have to feel for.
They're probably talking about,
you have to
man,
feel
that
for Valerio
strategy's-
Gallo there.
how'd you
Both
do
drivers,
that?
I think, within a shout of maybe being on the podium for the points there, but just mistakes.
すごかったな。
Unfortunately, undoing that. But Serrano really shows intention from the get-go, leading there on the top tire. But this mistake earlier on, we thought maybe for a flash it could be over for him. Unfortunately, Gallo
That overtake
decided
was
to
insane,
accelerate
yeah.
into the instant, went into the grass there, and that was his race pretty much over.
I
on
wish
that
they would
one.
feature what they're talking about amongst each other
challenging
too.
against Paul Ura though. This was on the opening lap. Then on lap 2, Ura and Serrano actually had a bit of contact after a mistake going in towards the carousel. We also saw Miyazono in the mix there as well. Then once the pit stop started to play out, we saw a divergence in strategy. Serrano went onto the hard tyres on his middle stint, which ultimately was the stint that won in the race. He kept the same pace as a lot of the medium-shod runners around him at this point.
I'm gonna be really honest.
What that did
I didn't
for
expect to
Jose
have this
Serrano
much
was it allowed him a bit of clear air.
I
Whilst
didn't
everybody else
expect to have
made their
this much
pit stops
fun
a little bit
watching
out of
this.
sequence, and then he was able to close the gap down from about 13.5 seconds
That
or
was a
so
lot of fun to
down to
watch.
8
What?
seconds, which meant that he was in a great position to attack on that medium tyre in the final stint of the race. We saw Drummond coming to blows with Valerio Gallo. We saw an investigation underway on the penultimate lap
intense.
as well, which ultimately would fall the way of Kylian Drummond being deemed as the aggressor. And this is Jose Serrano attacking against Miyazono, the battle, the victory,
Like,
the move
seriously.
that got him the race lead as he came across the line to be crowned the
so much for the sponsor,
2025
but
Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup champion.
Mama!
What a moment, what a feeling that is going to be for the Spaniard.
Thank you
24
so much for the
points
sponsor, but-
maximum
and
to
thank you so
score
much
here
for letting
tonight.
me have
Takuma
this much
Miyazono
fun.
in
I
second,
didn't-
Paul Ura is
I
in
didn't
third place,
realize I
points
was
all the way
gonna
down
have so much
to 10th here in
Vamos! Oh, is that
Fukuoka.
was that
A
what you were
great way
saying?
to end a
Vamos!
very exciting season. And confirmation, 20 points the advantage that he gets.
I know what
he couldn't
vamos
have done
means.
any
I've
better
watched
at
Dora
all
the
this
Explorer.
weekend. He won race
Yes.
1, he won race 2, he wins the grand final.
Thank you,
Grand
PlayStation.
Slam, and as I said, I don't think we've seen that since Nick
ありがとう、プレイステーション。これはすごいおもろかったな。見ててめっちゃおもろかった。It was a lot
Absolutely
of
brilliant from Jose
it was a lot of fun
Serrano. He
watching
won
with
the
you guys
championship
too.
back in 2023 as part of a team effort. Now he's the individual champion in 25. Let's go and catch up with him.
Well, we are down on the floor with the winner, Jose Serrano. So not only did you win, but you won by like 20 points.
By like 20 points?
Crazy, eh?
That's winning and some. Like, how do you feel right now? I mean, you've been super consistent. Like all this year, you've been really dominant. How does it feel?
Honestly, I have no words to describe my feeling right now.
Really tell
I'm
us what you
super
had for
happy.
breakfast now.
For this year, it's almost perfect for me. Winning
Perfect
the
year.
Manufacturers Cup, Nations Cup today.
Oh, man.
So super happy.
はい、言葉もないということですけれども、まあ今年は本当に、
本当に
ほぼ完璧で、
完璧なね
昨日ね、マニファクチャラーを勝って、
一年だったね
そして今日はね、ネーションを勝って
You won
本当に嬉しい
yesterday
ということですが、ほとんど完璧と言いましたけれども、ちょっとミスの時はどう思ったんでしょうか。You
Shut
said
up.
almost
I still find
perfect.
it funny, okay?
You're finally you have time a little bit to
Just relax.
cool down, right?
Relax.
You know, what was in your mind when you made a slight mistake in the beginning?
Well, honestly, I did a lot of mistakes during the.
Really? You did?
Yeah. During the soft
In his
tire, I
standards,
did
there was a lot of mistakes.
mistakes, but
めっちゃちょいちょいとミスったらしい。
Was that? Were you
本人のスタン
calculating
ダード
that?
曰く
yeah, exactly.
結構ちょこちょこミス
Are
ったって
you
いう
really good at the petrol station?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, like 40.0 kind of things,
I
right?
need it to be 20 euros exactly.
本当かって He made mistakes?
いや
question mark.
ゼロで入ってきたのはもう計算通りだったということで、ね、ジュルスがね、ひょっとしてガソリンスタンド行った時にちょうどギリギリ20リッターとか入れることができる人ですかっていうふうに聞いてましたけどね、ちょっとね、ちょっとずつね。
The gasoline was all according to 計画。
Strategy wise, you prepared everything.
計画通りだね、あれ
Yeah,
は。
strategy was perfect. Last year I did the wrong strategy. I think I did soft, medium, and hard. And,
Soft, medium, hard, yes.
Today I say, okay, I did a another strategy and works perfect. So
今日はいつもと違うストラテジーやって
Okay, can I just connect with the
パー
audience?
フェクトにちゃんとエクセキューションできた
去年は間違った戦略をやったと思ったので、今年は戦略を練り直して
変えたんだ
完璧な戦略ができたということですね、ジョース。
I'm too excited. I have no patience. I want to ask 48 questions. But
Yeah,
you also,
Nicole.
this is quite a fun fact. Would you like to know what Jose's maximum heart rate was during that
Oh,
race?
let's look at his heart rate.
129.
Oh, he's got
Wow,
that.
I feel like that's just me normally.
129。
Apple Watch.
129というのがレース中の心拍数の最大だったそうです。
What was my heart rate this whole time?
Wow.
You're too cool for school.
What was the heart rate? What's the heart rate?
結構落ち着いてますよね。130以下ってね、200
Only
いってもおかしくないぐらいだと思うんですけども。
129. Well, guess what, chat?
ね、
My heart rate was
地元のみんなには何か言いたいことはないでしょうか。
like 80
Any words
I'm
for
the
your
calmest
fans
here.
back home in Spain?
In Spanish.
In Spanish, of course.
Of course, yeah. But we can't translate that, so.
Yeah.
Well,
You can translate it afterwards.
bueno, por fin puedo hablar español aquí. Estoy muy contento por la victoria. Tenemos afición por ahí, la estamos viendo. Gracias a todos por levantaros temprano desde allí, desde casa.
I'm as cool as
Gracias a
cucumber.
todos
Yep.
por seguirme durante todo este año y tú durante todos estos años. Gracias a mi familia por el apoyo también. Gracias a mi equipo de eSports Team Falcons por todo el apoyo este año. Y pues nada, el título se viene a casa, chavales.
You can see them behind you.
Yeah.
Let's see the flag.
The Spanish flag.
So, can I guess what the translation was? Was it thank you to my family, to my esports team?
Yeah.
Did I miss it? Anyone else?
Thanks for the support or my supporters. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you to
All
my
right.
supporters, yeah.
So that's from the floor. Back to you, Tom and Jimmy. Congratulations, Vamos!
Yeah, thank you very much indeed,
Cheers,
Sasha. Thank you
Secretary,
to Jules there as well. Jose Serrano there just thanking his friends, his family, thanking the Falcons team, thanking Gran Turismo.
Thanking
everyone, basically, for what was a phenomenal season. You can see the outpouring of emotion for the Spaniard there and what it means to him to be crowned as the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup champion. Vote for your Dunlop driver of the day, Jose Serrano,
of the day on
Takuma
YouTube.
Miyazono, or Valerio Gallo are your options there. Get involved with it and let us know on YouTube who you think your driver of the day was from that one. Jimmy Broadbent, I dare say
wait, was
that your
Gallo
Dunlop driver of
third?
the day would probably be Jose Serrano, given the performance we saw today.
Did Gallo get third? But I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait. Did Gallo get third? I thought.
But this guy clean sweeps it.
Really? Did they make it a bigger sandwich?
The driver of the day, the driver of the year.
No.
Yeah,
no,
amazing
okay.
performance from
I guess they
Jose
just no,
Serrano.
okay.
Full credit to Takuma Miyazono.
For a second, I was like, his overtakes were so good. Okay, okay.
Well, Miyazono eventually finishing
Yeah, they
second
were clean
in
overtakes.
the standings. Paul Ura in third place there as well. And
Sorry,
I have to say, it has been a
3位じゃないのになんでここにいんの？
very exciting season in the Gran Turismo World Series. I'm looking
Gara
forward to 2026 already. Can't wait. But I have to say, for now, Jose
Who
Serrano.
was your driver of the day,
phenomenal
chat?
season. And just tonight, I mean, in
Type in.
particular.
Type in who
there
you
was
think the
no
driver of the
sense
day
that
was.
He was flustered, that he was bothered, that he was even under any pressure.
You've got to think about what this weekend's been like for him, right? Okay, so he raced all of yesterday.
No, I didn't
Won the
drive, chat.
Manufacturers' Cup.
No,
Spoiler.
that's not the answer I was asking
And then comes in,
for.
wins every damn
Gallo in
race,
terms of fights.
and then wins the last one. I think one of the biggest gaps we've seen points-wise.
ガロ選手やっぱりすごかったんだね。
Gets out and says, oh, yeah, my heart rate was like 120. Actually, man, I did that walk up the stairs.
I know, I said to you, it was a bit like he was driving to the shops. It was so calm and collected. Brilliant job from Jose Serrano. Let's get the podium celebrations then underway here in Fukuoka.
In Fukuoka.
Podium celebrations about to begin here in Japan in front of the crowd for the Gran Turismo
I always wonder what
World
those podiums
Series
are made out
World
of.
Finals.
Wood?
Please welcome on to the stage in third position for the GT World Series Nations Cup.
Oh, he's got the hat on.
Paul Ura.
表彰式ネーションズカップ第3位はポール・ユラスペイン。
おめでとうございます。
Paul Ura being congratulated by the crowd. Please welcome in second place for the Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup from Japan. It's Takuma Miyazono.
そして2位は日本の宮園拓磨。
来年も頑張れ。
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup World Champion from Spain, Jose Serrano!
ネーションズカップチャンピオンスペインのホセ・セラーノ。
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able for the national anthem of Spain.
スペイン国歌起立をお願いします。
Now just listen. Ooh. It's very marching bandy. It is a banger, yeah. It must be such a feeling to be able to represent your country and to like bring a win to them.
Jose Serrano, the 2025 Gran Turismo World Series Nations Cup Champion of the World here in Fukuoka, Japan, the venue for the World Finals. Now time for the podium trophies to be presented. Third place, Hitoshi Hino from Dunlop makes his way onto the stage.
3位のプレゼンターはダンロップの日野仁様です。
The victory speeches.
And Hino-san awarding the third place
the
trophy
sponsors.
to Spain's Pol Ura.
It must be hard to get it through that hat.
3位のポール・ユ
一回
ラに
帽子外さないとなこれは。
メダルを贈呈いたします。
Second place trophy being presented by Andreas Schicker from Corsair Fanart as he makes his way onto the stage.
2位のプレゼンターはコルセールファナテックアンドレアス・シッカー様です。
The second place medal being presented to Japan's Takuma Miyazono.
メダルが2位の宮園選手に贈られます。
That glass in the middle is sleek.
And finally, please welcome onto the stage Gran Turismo Series producer Kazunori Yamauchi.
I guess first
そして
place
1位
gets
の
the
プレゼ
trophy,
ンター
right?
はグランツーリスモシリーズプロデューサーの山内和則さんです。
Yamauchi-san
this is
firstly presenting the
Such
medal
a
to
beautiful
Jose Serrano.
game. If you know how to drive this, looks like so much fun.
メダルに続いてトロフ
Do
ィー
you
の
know
贈呈
that
で
Gran
す。
Turismo sold over 100 million units
Jose
since
Serrano, the
1997?
2025 Gran Turismo Nations Cup champion.
Woo! That's like the amount of babies that were born in Japan this year was not even 1% of that number. Not even 1% of that number. So even if you gave all the babies that were born in Japan this year a Gran Turismo game, that would still not even be 1% of 100 million. That's how many they sold. Oh, おめでとうございます。いや、まあ嬉しいに決まってるよな。Oh, he even gets a medal. That racing was so clean. There was no like, there's barely any, how do you say this, like nerves when it comes to like, oh, who's gonna get first place? It was just pretty much almost set in stone halfway through. パーフェクト勝利やしな、ほんとね。これ以上にない勝利の仕方をしたね。
This is the it's
You
the
can't
end of our
win
2025
more,
season
have a win
here
that's
for
more
Gran
perfect
Turismo
than this.
World Series, and what a season it has been. Tom and Jimmy, how are you feeling? Nostalgic, tired, jet lagged.
Very tired, very tired.
Jet lagged. Did they just arrive in Japan just yesterday or something?
And I think by far and away we have one of the most well-deserved Nations Cup champions of all of these events, and it was just a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, completely.
Hope they have a fun time in Japan
That was a
after
masterclass from Jose Serrano. We saw some brilliant driving. Okay, we didn't quite get the grandstand finish that we're used to seeing in the GT World Series, but that was a fantastic display of just how to do it, pull the strategy right, and ultimately consistency. As we know, that's what creates champions.
Consistency.
Is king, people.
Yeah. 本当に素晴らしいセラノのね、
Yeah, that's
本
like
当
the
に
one
どの
word
レース
you
も
would
素晴らしい
use
走りだったんですけれども、
to
やっぱ
explain
り宮
how
園選手も本当に素晴らしい
the
走
winning
りをしたと思います。
race
And
happened. It was just
it was a year for
consistency.
Serrano, but I need to mention
相
that
当練習したんだろうな、これ
Miyazono
本当に。
showed his spirit.
Oh, yeah, very, very much so, yeah.
宮園選手も本当に素晴らしかったと思います。
Yeah, very, very much so. But every single one of these drivers fights, you know, it's not taken lightly, and they put a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication to be here, and it really is the best of the best. Okay, so it's not, I know it's over for now, but it's not totally over because we are coming back in 2026.
2026!
Fancy a little trip to Abu Dhabi? Well, that's very high. Abu Dhabi?
アブダビがありますね。皆さん、アブダビにもぜひ来てください。
Look how pretty that is.
What's going on in Abu Dhabi next year?
Well, we're going. Round one of Gran Turismo World Series is going to be coming to you live from there. The first time we're going to the Middle East.
The
That's very
fact that
exciting.
this is
We're
just
looking
the
for all
championship, guys.
competitors,
There was
and
also
we're
round 1
excited
and
to see,
2
come and meet
and
some
3.
of the community from the Middle East as well. I think that's going to be really nice.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, really exciting venue for us. As you say, brand new venue for the GT World Series. Entering our 9th year, Jules. I can't believe it. We're getting
Ninth
so
year.
old.
Yeah.
Getting close to 10.
2026.
来年は9年目ということになりますけれども、初の中東のレース、アブダビ、ぜひ皆さん注目していただきたいと思います。第一戦です。Yeah.
We're really old now, Sasha. Look at us. We need a before and after picture.
Yeah.
Year 1, year 9.
We should, we should.
Really don't need to do
There's
we'll
a
get
reason
some
why
Zimmer
this
frames next year, I
this
reckon,
game
or
is
like-
able to have like such a big
Something like
tournament
that.
every single
I
year
mean, I
for
don't know what's going to happen
pretty
in
much
Abu
over
Dhabi. I
8
don't
years
know.
straight.
Well, look, it's been our sincere pleasure to bring you the Gran
If you
Turismo
guys are
World Series
curious,
for
this game has
2025.
over
We will be back
400
next
cars,
year with more.
9
Thank
new
you for
tracks, one of
joining
the
us.
new tracks that they added in the spec
Sayonara.
update. There's like one of them is really cool. One of the new tracks. Dynamic weather, yeah, there was no rain this time. I wouldn't be surprised if rain was an aspect in future stuff. And VR support for those who are into VR. いやー面白かったね。よいしょ。こちらのゲームはね、ついこの間12月4日にね大きなアップデートが来ましてね、結構面白い車が追加されたり、トラックもね2カ所追加されて、その中ですごいかっこいいんだよね。なんかFinal race should... You know what? You know, that would be so epic if they had rain in final races. Yeah. 雨降ってほしいね。ラストのレースとかに雨とかだったら暑いよな、絶対。ね、しかもそう、とにかくすごいね、新しいアップデートが来て、いろいろコンテンツも追加されて、こちらのゲームには車の種類400種類も以上もあって、トラックも90種類もあって、やり込み要素は多分おそらく死ぬほどあると思います。雨も降るらしいですよ。They have dynamic weather。なんかいろんな天気も途中で変わったりとかいろいろあるらしいです。結構リアルです。And there will still be continuous free updates. Yes. Oh, excuse me. Let me just don't start playing a new. Don't start playing. Okay. Wrong one. 勝手になんかよくわかんないやつに入ってくる。Okay, okay. Blue water. Blue water. Don't show the blue water. No. Okay. Autoplay. Yeah. I don't know how to turn off autoplay in this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you once again. Thank you so very, very much, PlayStation, for sponsoring me for this watch along. I had a lot of fun watching. I really want to know how to play realistic car racing sims. めっちゃ面白かったです。なんかこちらでね、なんていうの？実況のノリがね、これでいいのかっていう実況のノリがこれでいいのか不安な部分ありつつね、すごく個人的にはめっちゃ楽しく見れたと思います。there is a part of me that was like worried, like, oh, is this sort of commentary okay? But Nonetheless, besides that, I had a lot of fun. So thank you very much for this opportunity. こちらのね、改めてスポンサーありがとうございます。すごくいいきっかけになったと思います。すごくこれを知れて見るのもすごく楽しかったです。Thank you very much. 運転習いたいね。And once again, congratulations to Serrano for winning. Yes, セラーノ選手も優勝おめでとうございます。もう圧倒的な優勝でね、見てて気持ちよかったですね。サーキットなら免許いらんぞ。そういう問題かThank you very much. I will, wait. As I think the main stream said, you guys can also vote on YouTube who do you think was today's racer. You can also accept some cool rewards if you watched it in the game. Yes. 途中で終わっちゃった。こちらのね、トーナメントはなんとゲームの中でもね、ログインして見ることも可能でした。そちらで見るとね、いろいろとなんかタダでもらえるなんか特典とかあるらしいんで、ぜひぜひアカウント持ってる方ログインしてそちらのバンナーなんていうの今回の大会のバンナーをして特典をご覧になるのはいかがでしょうか。Okay. Thank you very much. I will see you guys again soon. Yep. 今からでも間に合うのかな？どうなんだろうね。なんか間に合う可能性あるんじゃないかなって思うけど、約束はできません。私もそこはちょっとわかんないので。Okay. But yes, congratulations and looking forward to how things go next year. Yeah, in Abu Dhabi. ありがとうございました。Thank you so much for watching with me. 私と一緒に見ていただきありがとうございました。楽しかったです。Thank you very much. Thank you, PlayStation. Thank you, Gran Turismo. Thank you, everybody. Yay. Okay. またお会いしましょう。Bye, IRyS. Bye, IRyS. I'm not forgetting anything, right? I think I should be fine. Let me just do a quick double check to make sure I didn't forget anything. Tough, 多分大丈夫。多分大丈夫。Thank you so much, PlayStation, for sponsoring me. Thank you! Bye, IRyS! Bye, IRyS! la 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 la. これだ。That fade out was perfect this time. that fade out was perfect this time. Yeah, このね、right after watching a race like this, listening to Eurobeat, isn't it nice? こういうスピード感のあるレースゲームを見た後のEurobeatは最高だね。So like I told you guys, I did get like a list of like, you know, of contestants this time that were like, you know, key contestants in this tournament this year. And Serrano was at the top of the list, but I'm just like, But I still didn't expect such a sweep, such a Serrano sweep. So that was a lot of fun. Seeing all the stuff that can happen in like the beginning, the races and stuff, like all the collisions, accidents. Some of the collisions can be so subtle too. I learned a lot today, and it was a lot of fun. そう、なんかいろいろ学びましたね、本当に。こうやってなんだろう。レースの最初でもやっぱりその最後だけじゃなくて最初でもね、いろいろなハプニングがあって、何が起こるのかわからないっていう緊張感がたまらなかったですね。改めて Thank you very much. See you guys again soon. Bye, bye,